On this episode of Sanity Lounge, the crew welcomes Bionic Universal Super Soldiers Incorporated, or Bussi. Bussi is comprised of Erik Woodworth and Tommy Sinbazo, two Baltimore comedians who realize they share the same brain while in a foreign land doing comedy together. So smoke if you got 'em and buckle up, Baltimore, for this wild ride of comedy lunacy with Baltimore's own Simon and Garfunkel, Bussi.
Sweet. Welcome, Baltimore. We have a special guest. Tommy's in here for number 2.
Yeah.
We have Bussi.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Erik and Tommy. Erik Woodworth, Tommy Sinbazo's musical duo.
The Bionic Universal Super Soldiers
Very
Incorporated.
good,
Yeah.
Brian.
Do you believe it? I know.
You did it. See, it's just 5 simple words.
It's so much better before we used to be at LLC and it was just Bustle.
Right.
It wasn't.
Bustle.
It
We
didn't
sold
really roll
dresses.
Did we talk about that when you were here about the whole Bussi history, like the name? Because you guys couldn't.
We
say
call it
was
Bustery.
because I said Bussi.
Yeah, Bussi.
Bussi.
Some people do say Bussi and they're wrong.
Yeah.
No, I fully understand how wrong it is now.
No, so we
But it was
were,
a 90s rock thing, right? Where they wouldn't let you say it at first?
Well, originally when Erik and I, so if we go all the way back, Erik and I were doing these comedy murder mysteries with like Justin Schlegel and Joe Robinson.
The DLP
Rob Mayer.
agenda.
Yeah,
we
the
want to get
DLP
those
guys.
in there.
And then we went on a 2-week tour of the Middle East with Rob. And to pass time on bases, Rob was like, Erik, you sing? And he was like, yeah, I sing, because Erik started as a musical comedian.
Yeah, I
and
started off that way.
And Tommy, well, you waited
cut
until
his
it became
teeth
cool
in.
again.
I did. And then everybody made fun of me, so I put it down. I put down my crutch called the guitar,
Yeah.
and I wrote real jokes for a little while. And then now I'm just old and lazy, and now I just have to bring it everywhere.
But now, then Rob was like, well, Tommy, you sing. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, why don't you guys sing me something together? And I was like, I don't know. Do you know Weird Al?
And we found out we knew every Weird Al song.
That's awesome.
And so I was like, well, do you want to sing Yoda? And he was like, yeah, sure, we'll sing Yoda. And so we start singing Yoda on this bus in Dubai or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were
I think we were in
hitting...
Djibouti, Africa.
Yeah, we were hitting natural harmonies. We were hitting all the inflections and stuff. And like when we were done, Rob was like, "This is something. This should be a thing." Which the other comic on the trip with us, Patrick Melton.
Shout out,
hated it.
Nobody Likes Onions, Patrick Melton. It drove him insane. He was like, "Are you guys just gonna fucking do this all the time?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
He was like, "You guys are constantly on. It's always a bit." And I'm like, "It's not.
We're just having fun."
Yeah.
Okay.
You said it's
Dude,
part of the gig.
I just
mean,
sent like a little teaser because we had buddies that wanted to come in, but they're out of town, and I sent them just a video of you guys warming up, and that's what he said. He's like, dude, they're fucking always on.
Yeah.
Always on.
Right. Well, that's the root of a good comedian.
Yeah,
In my
yeah.
Well,
head,
I
it's
mean,
like,
a
how
good
can
comic,
you-
like we have moments where it's not jokes a minute, but you know, it's still two good friends.
Sure.
Yeah,
having a
we've
good
hung out
time.
enough that like we can, if we have like an hour car ride, we'll spend 20 of it in pure silence.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's fine.
It happens.
Thinking
Right,
the other one's
right.
mad at him.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he hasn't made a joke yet.
Well, let me ask you,
Being a real dick today, I guess.
Eric, let me ask you this: were you the guitar is your only instrument, or what's your history with the guitar?
Yeah. I mean, I started playing when I was like 20. And,
Oh, okay. So you were later in life. You picked it up.
I don't know. I was always I don't like to brag, but I was all county choir in 5th grade for Howard County, Maryland.
Whoa.
I don't like to brag a lot.
Talk
but,
about bona fides.
Yeah.
Right
But my brother and my family are all pretty decently musically inclined, and I
His brother was a musical genius.
my
What do you
brother
mean?
was really
What do you
good.
mean was?
He's super
he's
dead.
super
He
dead.
died. He died about a year ago.
okay.
He died because he had eczema real bad, and he tripped and fell, and a Roomba rolled over him.
Yeah.
So okay. So let's hover here for a second. So this is not a joke, of course. Your brother passed away rather recently. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
No worry. He was kind of a dick.
Because of his musical, he was so musically better. No, I'm okay.
No, I do. Jeremy was very, very good at guitar, and I had access to it, but I never really started playing, I guess, until like my early 20s.
But the choir thing is true.
I did. Was in church choir.
Yeah,
and
you have a
stuff like
dynamite
that.
voice.
And it was a little off today, but I also have a very high pitchy voice that. I was made fun of my whole life for, and now I've monetized it.
Me too.
So
I was
it's
always made fun of how high my voice was.
Yeah.
And so I practiced talking lower until I could do it.
I didn't know you could. What's the dude's name that sings the Monster Mash again?
BBP. Bobby
Boris Pickett.
You pulled it off pretty good.
Yeah.
You went pretty deep.
I think we're both Bobby Boris Pickett
I'm
fans.
Bobby Boris Pickett as well.
So how long have you guys? How long have you guys actually known each other? How long have you been friends?
I guess I met Tommy probably around like.
I met you at
2010,
NADS, New Age Dine and Dance, which was an open mic in the gay part of Baltimore.
Yeah, that was my first set I did there.
Yeah.
Was at NADS, and that was 2009
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
first started doing comedy. And I know my brother was friends with the guy who ran that place because he had a band with him.
Justin Jones.
Justin Jones, shout out. Or he was in my brother's band when they were in high school, so I knew Justin through that. And he was like, "I'm in comedy now. I run this mic, and you should come up and do it." And I just one of the songs we did today, I actually wrote for that. It was called Judy. I just wrote it that day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I could just do that," And then I went up and did that, and I don't know. I used to have friends back then, so they all came, and then I did really good. I wish I had done bad, and I would have given up and went to HVAC school. But I was encouraged
It's better
to
pay.
be here.
I think you look like an HVAC tech.
I know that's what I should have done, but I didn't, and now I am a moderately mid-range local comedian. So I've ruined my life by all of you encouraging me early on.
So the place was called NADS, New Age Dine and Dance, and it was the back room, the back entrance of a bar called Leon's Leather Lounge, which is a historic gay bar.
I got you. I was saying you
Where?
were.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
you're
Where?
in
Mount
the
Vernon?
game.
In Mount Vernon?
Yeah, in Mount Vernon. And there was a hallway that connected them with a common bathroom. So
That's
you had
incredible.
Leon's Leather Lounge in the front, Nad's in the back, and we called the hallway the Taint.
Leon's Leather Lounge.
Yeah, it had like a bakery display that was
Right.
in there, full of dildos and vibrators and butt plugs.
And it was great. I would send I played rugby for a long time, and I had my rugby friends would come up there, and I'd be like, "Hey, there's a whole nother bar back there," and they'd go back there, and they'd always just come back and like, "Yeah, I thought it was really cool," and I was like, "Huh, there's a lot of dudes here, huh?" And I looked at the TV, and there was no sports on. I was like, "Huh," and then there was two guys making out, and I was like, "Yeah, did you have a good time, man?"
But you knew
Cool, right?
you were having a good set if the gays waiting for the bathroom would come in and be like, "You're killing it, honey."
I also do like when you'd have like a whole room of heteros over there on that side, and you'd see like a lady in full drag come over, like culture shock.
So Eric, let me
awesome.
ask you this: when you started, like, you used the guitar, like
I did, yeah.
and they gave you shit. Did people give you shit, or was that
No,
just in your head?
It's just generally frowned upon by like
It's usually called
comedians.
the lowest form of stand-up is musical
Yeah,
comedy.
it's like that, and then I feel like it's above. I feel like it's above improv, right? Musical comedy above
Look, he
improv.
said, "Wow."
I did improv for 8 years.
Yeah, but look,
Went to Chicago.
Shots fired.
look,
Bussi.
if
It's an exclusive.
Listen, you fucking hack!
Get Rob Mayer on there. He's a real comic. Let's ask him what's a lower art form. Is it
Well,
musical comedy
so-
or is it that?
Well, what about prop?
Mime and
Prop
prop, and then
started as
mime
a
and
prop
clown.
And then what's the last one you said?
props are
Clown.
Clowning, I guess, is
Clown-
probably even
Clown
worse.
is now strictly porn.
And then listen. You know what's lower than that is just straight up whatever Steve-O does. That's
Oh,
gotta be
yeah,
the lowest
yeah,
one.
yeah. Right,
Just
right.
jackass
Stunts
comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, now don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think musical comedy's fucking great. Don't get me wrong.
That's the
I'm
problem
just-
is that musical comedy is great because there are jokes that you can tell that if you tell them as a joke, it won't go over.
I agree.
But if you put it to song,
Yes.
it makes that bitter pill that much sweeter.
absolutely.
And I don't really agree with the criticism that like a musical comic will get. They were like, "Oh, you just play a song." I was like, "Well, Yeah, but I also practice the song probably as many times as you practice your bit.
Right.
Because your bit has exact same timing that if you
Right.
do it this way, it works. If you do it that way, it doesn't work. It's the same thing with the song. I just wrote it and it goes like this. And is there some room for change? Yeah, I mean, I think we do a lot of different things with our song.
Well, we do art. I consider us a crowd work comedy act.
Yes.
Because the songs are always the same, but it's the interaction with the crowd between the songs that's always different.
Right, it leads you
And you
through
saw
the
us
stories.
riffing in
Right.
between and coming up with bits like that. Makes each set different.
But I feel like you could probably change some lyrics on the fly too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things come up. I think
Yeah,
Father's Day
sure.
at the Glory Hole was just a riff that we had at one show where we were recording it, and we were like, I guess we got to make this.
And then I
song
wrote it
one
on the
day.
way home from work. They were like, this has to be a song. And I was like, and I had just started doing my Adderall again. So the whole ride home from work, I kept sending him sound clips of like, here's this verse. But
That's when Tommy works on the most Bussi stuff. I know. I was like, oh, he's Adderall's back. I was like, okay. He's sending me sound clips again. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, I'm listening. All right, I'll figure out these.
You get the
notes real
most
quick.
accomplished
Yeah.
when his script is
When is it
renewed.
coming?
So, but we also have one of the differences between musical comedy and regular comedy. If you were in a room and you were doing a bit, right? You're doing one of your jokes, and it is not working.
Like
you can
even
tell,
the premise isn't working.
Yeah,
like
the
if you
crowd.
you
you
can
can tell the
abandon
crowd's
it.
like no, and you can just bail out of that joke and be like, all right, screw that joke. I'll do this
Right.
next one. In musical comedy, you have to finish the fucking song.
Right.
Yeah, there's no like, stop at verse 1 over
Right.
Bussi's trash.
Yeah.
You get both. You're
And
gonna have to get the second.
We'll do songs that make us laugh.
For sure.
And then we've done, when we first started, we were like, oh, I guess we should consider what the crowd like.
Yeah.
And,
That's a problem. I think that's the thing that's the hardest about our act is like if you don't like by song 2, if you're not on our side, I was like, we have nothing to pivot
yeah.
to. There's
Right.
we can't
it just gets worse.
Right.
We build and build, and it only gets more and more horrible.
Yeah.
So, people have to be in for the ride. But also, listen, I grew up loving bands like Guar, just like Tommy did, and I'm like, what the fuck would Guar do? They would just sit there in front of this crowd and they would squirt blood on them.
Yeah,
and I'm a bigger
absolutely.
fan of
No
just
matter
doing
what.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Hey,
what we're
you
gonna
say
do.
the word and I start building blood pumps
I
and
bet.
cum geysers.
I don't know.
Cum Geyser. That's my favorite.
Have you ever been to a Guar show?
Well, no, but I know of them.
Right.
Well, so a Guar show, there's different sections of the crowd. You have the throng that is up the first, say, 20 feet or 10 feet of a Guar stage, and that's where you're packed in so tight that like you're just moving with the wave of the crowd, right? Then behind that you'll have your mosh pit. And then behind that, it's usually just the people standing in the back that are not having a good time. The wives that you brought for their first Guar show.
Your designated driver who's like, okay,
Yeah.
this
You're
is
like,
cool.
what the
A mom who realized that she shouldn't have taken her 13-year-old son, but it's too late because he did get straight A's. Right? Like, okay, this is what he wanted to do.
Within that throng, just the body heat of people, you're like, I'm gonna fucking pass out. You were so thankful when they spray you with ice cold fake jizz.
Yeah, you're like,
Oh my god!
Even the mother that took her son
Yeah.
was like, ah.
get my mom. Tell them the story about what you did at the Guar concert to the late Odorous Urungus.
Please,
so
please.
Guar's probably the band I've seen the most live.
Right.
We used to go every time they were in town. We would go at least once a year for their Halloween show with the Misfits. And I think it was one of those Halloween shows at the 9:30 Club that we're up in the throng. And this is back when I was a meathead. And they start passing. They leave the stage, and everyone's chanting "Guar, Guar, Guar, Guar." They come back out for their encore, and now they're just in their underwear. They've taken off all their costumes. They're just in their underwear, and Dave Brocky is just wearing a thong, right? And so he goes out and he is singing and he crowd surfs, dives out into the crowd and he crowd surfs. And now he's sitting up and he's trying to get security to pull him back. And I grab the back of his thong and I pull on it, right? So he can't go anywhere, right? And then I start slapping his ass, right? And he's going, they're hitting me! They're hitting me! So they start pulling him harder and I pull him out of his underwear. And so he gets up on stage, his underwear's down around his ankles, and he turns around, and he has this nubbin of a dick.
Oh, no.
Packed house of people.
Right.
And he just looks at everybody and goes, yeah, I have a small dick.
You exposed them.
Right.
Yeah.
I did.
You were responsible for that, right?
Yeah.
That is true.
Hey, but he took it. He took it
That's
like a champ. He
hilarious.
was like, "Yeah, I have a little dick. Why do you think I write these songs?" You
Yeah.
think-
Yeah.
you
He
think
said
I
he
was
took it like a
huge
champ.
dick? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the guy who
hilarious.
wears the giant, massive cod
Yeah, the
piece cock.
cuttlefish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a small dick guy
Right,
underneath
right,
there.
right. You proved.
The funniest part is that between Tommy and I, if you took both of our dicks, we have 2 regular sized cocks. and unfortunately, I have the short end of the stick in the group.
That's one thing I'm thankful about my autism.
Yeah. I'm always jealous of Tommy because when he goes to take a piss, he can drape his cock.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I don't have a drape.
I don't have to hold it.
Yeah, I'm always like, I was like, Tommy, you get to use multiple fingers to hold your penis. Like,
Meanwhile-
I'm a 2-finger guy.
When Eric's done
Drape.
pissing, he has to wipe his balls.
That's
Oh, yeah, that's
I-
fucking incredible.
Tommy's other thing that he likes to do. I've seen, first of all, Tommy's cock as much as I've only one other friend who have unwillingly seen his cock more.
Oh, Justin Schlegel.
Justin, I've seen.
I've
his
seen
penis
Justin's
a
cock
million
more than
times.
I've seen my own.
Yeah, I could pick it out of a lineup.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yep, that small little Irish thing right there.
Which I'll tell you, one of the times I was surprised to see it is we did this murder mystery.
This is such exclusive shit. I
great.
love this.
And we did this murder mystery in Winchester, Virginia, at this place called the Bright Box. And afterwards, we walk up, and it's like almost like a colonial Williamsburg type place, or
Right.
like an historic Ellicott city. And so we walk up this avenue to this Italian restaurant. And this Italian restaurant is closing, but they let us all come in and we're all eating. It's like a very family type vibe
Right.
between all of us. And Justin gets up and goes, "Hey, I'm gonna go take a piss."
Oh God, I remember how
He
good this
gets
was.
up, he stands up, walks, goes around the corner, and by the time he's around the corner, that's when I was like, you know what, I'm going to piss too. And Eric's like, yeah, I'll piss.
Yeah, yeah.
So we get up. We're a good, there's no way he knew we were coming. And we walk into the bathroom. Justin has his pants completely off, and he is standing, he's straddling the urinal with his back to it.
Yeah, like his
pissing
ass in there, pissing straight down.
into it, and looks like,
Holy shit.
oh, hey, what's up, guys? And I'm like, what if it wasn't us?
What an odd way.
Dude, I went to the Udvar Hazy Air and Space Museum with the scouts back in October, and,
Yeah, not
and
too
walked
long.
into the bathroom to one of the strangest sights I've ever seen, and I think it might be an Asian thing.
Okay.
So I walk in. And
Was it yellow?
incredible.
So no, so
You're not gonna believe this. Their piss was yellow.
So I walk in, and there's the stall right there. The urinal's here, stall. So I just see, and I see 2 feet. So I'm just looking down when I walk in. I see 2 feet, and I almost have to stand up and act it out. But all of a sudden, I just see an ass appear.
What?
But so these feet are facing
Yeah.
the toilet. So I see an ass appear, shitty ass, and I'm like, "What the?" So I stop. I'm like,
Yeah.
What the hell is
And this
going
is
on?
below the stall?
I see his feet below the stall. It's door shut.
And
like-
an ass.
and
Below
then
the
all of a
stall.
sudden I see feet, and then all of a sudden I see an ass. And then I see a hand with toilet paper, and he just starts wiping his ass.
Okay.
And then I'm just standing there like shocked, like what I gotta kind of hang out and see who this is, what's happening.
Yeah.
So he just keeps wiping. Mind you, I didn't think about this until after. The position he was in, his face was basically had to be like looking into the toilet bowl based on how he was standing.
Right.
So
They're like, oh, there's refreshments
Yeah.
in here.
so
You see,
he-
like, hey, you gonna eat that pickle?
So he wiped his ass. I pissed, and I just stood there waiting for him to come out of the stall, just standing in the corner. And just short little Asian dude walks out, walks up to the sink, puts his hands in it, wipes his face, wipes his hands,
And you didn't inquire?
then gets soap, and then washes his hands,
Oh.
and then walks out like nothing even happened.
But where was the shit?
Right.
I guess in the
Did you
toilet.
look- did
I
you
guess
look
he
in
took
there?
a shit and then he stood up and he bent down. But then I saw like in hotels they have like just there's like just the toilets are on the ground and shit. So I think it's
they
like
have very
kind of
low toilet.
But-
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a floor.
Do you think he just went in the drain and then just fucking mashed
maybe.
it through?
I don't know. But
They do it differently
No,
over
because
there.
the
It's-
drain was out and in the middle. I studied everything. It was the It was a very
I
very
studied
strange
everything.
I had a
bathroom
coworker.
experience.
I had a coworker that like if you had to share a stall next to him while he shit, you would look and see his feet facing the toilet, and then you'd hear the toilet paper come off the roll, like he stood.
So that's a thing. I mean,
Do you
technically,
think,
you're
like,
a little more. It's more hygiene because you're like sometimes if you lean in, you're probably touching the toilet seat, and
Wait,
I have no idea.
Do you think he was just like squatting down and like shot it into it, like he arced it?
I don't know what happened.
be
I mean,
incredible.
I didn't look in the stall.
Maybe
I
you
just
heard,
had
like,
to find out
Kobe!
who the man was. It was.
Did you hear him like
It was
rack,
insane.
like a shotgun rack as he grabbed one of his legs, like
Dude, I walked out of there and told as many people as I could what I just saw.
That's
fucking
incredible
awesome.
that you waited in the corner like this security guard. You're going to be like, hey, what's up, dude?
Oh, I almost didn't even piss. I was going to be like, I just got to stand here and talk to this guy and just ask him what he's doing. I mean, what are you doing? What?
You go, I've never seen that technique. Like,
Never.
What is
never,
that?
never. I've never seen the reverse squat technique for wiping your ass.
So,
Yeah.
hey, real quick, before
Maybe we all have super dirty assholes. And this guy,
you definitely do.
We may be doing it wrong.
Before we get too far away, Erik, rugby.
yeah.
What's the deal there? That's your sport of choice.
I
through
played
your
it
life?
I played it for like 16 years, and
Damn.
In high school?
I played in high school.
So what
for,
high school? Wait a
played
minute.
for-
Did you grow up around here?
I did. I grew up in Columbia, but I played for a club team in high school for in Severna Park.
So the high school didn't have a rugby team.
No, not my high school. But we would play against other teams that did have it as a high school sport, and they definitely whooped our asses. They were really good. But no, my childhood friend Dan Murphy got me into it. He found this club, and he just had his license. He's like, I'll drive you to practice. I was like, well, fuck yeah. And like, I'd played football before, and they don't give you the ball, and I played that, and I was like, this is awesome. I get the ball like a lot, and you get to like run into people, and you realize at first, like, I don't know how to run the ball at all. And you learn that over time, but it is it was a very fun sport, and I ended up going to Salisbury University, and they were pretty fucking good.
Nice.
Won the national championship in 2004.
Wow, look at you,
And
man. Good for you.
I had no part in that. I was a bench rider at that time.
You were on the team.
I was on the team then, but
moral
we,
support?
We had made it to, most of my college career. I ended up making it to the Elite Eights and Final Fours every year, and then when I graduated, I played for Rocky Gorge Men's Club, where basically they were the worst team in around here, and we just took all of the graduates from Salisbury. We're like, let's just take over this team and make them the best team, and we did do that.
Nice.
And in 2012, we won the national championship,
Wow.
and then I was kind of retired, but 2 years later they won it again with pretty much the same core of guys in
Wow.
2014. So they're pretty good. They're
So
pretty good.
you just kind of retired. You didn't get injured or stop. You just
I
stopped
mean,
playing?
definitely did get injured. I'd had one too many concussions. I in 2013 I had a pretty gnarly concussion, like the kind that at that time I was kind of playing in the back line and at a Division III level. I kind of was like, I don't want to come to practice. I won a national championship. I don't give a shit anymore. And I stopped caring about it as much. And I was just getting older. And I was playing one day, and then two guys, other meets that were the same size as me, tackled me in the open field and landed on my head, and I got up and I couldn't see anything. And then I was light sensitive, pretty bad concussion. And then I tried to come back and play again, and it was like every time like my head jostled, it was like bad. Really? So I just decided, I was like, maybe I should stop before I junior Seau myself. I'm not making $1 million doing this.
Right.
So I instead I diverted all this power to write songs like about fuck dolls that I married.
Right.
If the concussions gave me anything, it was great sense of humor.
When when you woke back up from the concussion, you're like, her pussy's trash. Someone give me a pen. Give me a pen.
Right. We wouldn't have the Shakespearean lyrics that we have here.
I do not know. I don't know a single rugby rule. Not one.
That's what I was going to ask you. So, is it like in your viewpoint? Is it ballsier than football as far as tough guy stance?
I don't think it's a tougher sport to play. I mean, first of all, rugby does come from football. American football comes from rugby. Rugby existed before that. They changed the rules. If you ever watch like a thing called Rugby League, it's very almost similar to that. To American football, it has downs and stuff like that, and that was a game that evolved into American football proper.
Wow.
But I think rugby itself is it's such a more interesting sport to watch because it is a constant movement. There's if a game is 90 minutes long, it is exactly 90 minutes long and it's done after that point. Well, it's an 80-minute game, but
Right.
you go, as soon as that's over, there's a halftime, there's no commercial breaks, there's no nothing. You go, you watch it, it's over with. And I like that while you have like these freaks of nature, and they would be great. Like if you took modern football players, if they played rugby their whole time, if you put, one of these defensive ends, and he would be great at it.
Right.
But little guys can be good at rugby too because they are elusive. They can break through the lines and stuff like that. Height isn't as big of a issue. I mean, size will always matter, but you could be a little fast guy. Like Allen Iverson could probably be an amazing rugby player. He'd go out there, be able to slang the ball. The George Gregans of this world from Australia, and there's a bunch of little guys that are awesome at it. And I think it lends itself to all body types. And I think it's the closest thing to like ancient warfare that you can watch in a sport more than anything. So,
And Eric's wife was a rugby player.
she was a rugby player too. Yeah, my old lady. That's how we met. I actually coached her team to one of their best seasons ever, and she said we can't date anymore because I can't have you as my coach. Because I'm apparently mean and I demand things.
Right.
So
You know how to win a championship.
it's hard because here's the thing: if you're in a relationship, you can't ever. As a man, you're not allowed to win an argument. You can just you have to win inside. But as a coach, you have to win arguments because there's things like points and things that prove that I was right. There's stats on it. You understand? There's statistics that when I drew this play up and I told you it would work, and then it did, and then I yelled at you because you didn't do that. That's it. So it's hard to be in a relationship and also coach somebody, and so I had to step aside.
Right.
But I was really good at coaching.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about parents coaching their kids, but never a husband coaching a wife.
Yeah, man, you couldn't pay me.
No.
Yeah, coach.
Use less teeth when you're out there.
She got mad at that. What a bitch.
Right.
God.
That's hilarious. That's right. Well, yeah, okay. I just wanted to inquire about that because I don't think I've ever fucking met a rugby player, but I've been
Yeah,
curious
you're on.
about
Hey,
it.
Six Nations was on this morning. It's good. That's a good yearly tournament that they have.
Nice. So you're deep in the game, baby. You watch year long and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
I try to keep up. It's hard to watch it all the time with everything. But now the Ravens are out and my sweet Washington Commanders have as season has ended. It's rugby time, baby. Let's get right back into it. So.
Oh God.
So let's turn to the psychedelic aspect. I got a couple questions on the aspect. You guys do the show with the DLP agenda a lot. You guys are co-actors, or what do you part of the team over there?
I would say auxiliaries.
And stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You do the Bussi show and stuff like that. I know Mr. Sinbazo's big into occasionally mushroom, psychedelic
What
type
if this was
stuff.
mushroom tea and you're like, let me get
Yeah,
some refreshment?
Well, that's what I was worried
They're
about.
just starting to kick in now.
Right. That's what I was worried about. But I have noticed that Mr. Sinbazo sometimes likes to perform or is okay performing like that. Have you ever
I've
you
never
okay performing
attempted
like that?
Listen, Tommy's relationship with psychedelics is if we were on the same road, he's 5 miles ahead of me on
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I'm on the road,
Hunter
but
Thompson is.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
I'm not I become very non-talkative to people that I don't know. Tommy can just spark a conversation with anybody,
Right.
Like 8 grams deep, and he's like, "You want fucking one of these, man?"
That's kind of I'm more like you.
I'm
where
like,
I am.
I like to put on. We went to MagFest last week, and we call it. We had a bit of shrimp and white wine, and as it was kicking,
I'll tell you what, shrimp is mushrooms,
Yeah.
and white wine is DMT.
Oh, God. Right.
And I bought a DMT vape from a guy off Facebook, and then I bought.
That seems regulated. I mean,
the battery for the vape that I had is a Harry Potter wand. It's a wand.
Incredible.
So I was able to.
technically, aren't we? We were in a place where it's legal to do it, right?
No, DC. We were just outside.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
National Harbor. There's no rules there. That's
Right.
Bartertown.
jurisdiction,
But I mean,
what is National Harbor considered?
It's Oxon Hill, which
Yeah, I
is
guess it's PG County.
PG County,
So,
yeah.
all right.
But at MagFest, I just had my wand tucked into my belt.
That's incredible. It's a wand.
And
That's
people were
awesome.
just like, some little girl was like, "You guys look like Baby Yoda with an Iron Man mask. Oh, and you're Harry Potter because you have a wand." And I went like, "It's drugs. It's all drugs."
Here, check this out.
The Harry Potter wand with drugs on it. It's incredible.
There's nothing like when you need to disappear from children. You hit the DMP and blow it out so that it looks like a ninja smoke bomb.
No, but so we did this group cosplay. It was 4 of us, and it was we called it Comfy Doom, which we had our Doom masks
Right.
that I made,
Of course.
and then these Sherpa fleece oversized hoodies. So imagine a hoodie that goes down to your knees. And then I found these women's belts, like the stretchy belt that we wore. And then we all had gray sweatpants and then very comfortable house slippers. And then I found these silver metallic gloves.
Right.
And so
Which,
we
by
had,
the way, Andy Basow has mine.
oh, your gloves?
Yeah.
No, she gave them back. I think I have them.
Oh, you have my gloves?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's important.
No, so we all throw that on Friday night. I eat a whole chocolate bar, a mushroom chocolate bar, and then drink two teas on top of that. One of them that I had sweetened with a teaspoon of mad honey from Nepal.
And this is what you had at MagFest?
And that was at MagFest. And then my bag, I
Well,
kept,
how many milligrams are we talking roughly? Like, what's a chocolate bar?
Oh, the chocolate bar was 6 grams.
Jesus Christ.
And then the
Every
each tea
year
is
you
2 grams.
you always add something. You're like, these are actually crystals that were fermented in a Yugoslavian acid for 4 weeks. It's actually, this is illegal in 8 countries. I was like, what does it do?
Yeah,
It makes
well,
you have a good vibe.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Just make it legal for me to smoke weed at my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time you bring out something, and I'm expecting it, it's like the scene in Mandy where you pull out a fucking a bee that stings you actively.
And I
You're
drip
like,
it into my eye. You have to have this scorpion sting you in the dick hole.
It's wild. It
It's
feels
for
incredible.
fertility.
Come on, what are you, a bitch?
And that's all it takes. You're right. What are you, being a pussy? I'm like, shut up. I'll drink the whole thing.
So then Eric had 2 grams. Everybody, I don't think
I had
Brian,
more than that. I took another half, almost close to half a tea.
Oh, and that's
so,
3
on
grams.
top there.
So and then we walked out the door and into MagFest, which was sold out this year, which was maybe 3,000 people. And
Set and setting, baby. Gosh, that's
and
got
then
it.
walking through, but so we had these masks on. We had a Doom
There's
playlist.
there's costume. I mean, that's a wild trip.
That's what I'm saying. Set
the
and
thing
setting.
is-
Like, you had to be out of your mind, but not you.
Well, here's
But-
the thing, though. When you're on mushrooms at MagFest, nobody there has social skills.
Right,
at all.
right,
It is
right, right.
It is a sea of autism and drug use.
I mean, that's
So-
almost with any Comic-Con.
I had this cologne that I bought that's supposed to be pheromone based, right? And I spritzed myself with it, but all it did was attract autistic men to come and talk to me.
and ones that would constantly criticize the masks that were
Yes!
wearing.
Oh
And
my
you can see like a thing clicking in his brain where he's just like, this would be really cool if it was like, it's almost a Casey Jones mask. And you can see, I was like, isn't that right, Tommy? Oh, yeah, you could have made a Casey Jones mask.
So
instead.
and someone was like, "Oh, how's this made?" And then you guys were like, "Oh yeah, it's like," and you were like, "Yeah, like creepy crawlers."
Yeah, you remember like creepy
creepy
crawlers?
crawler
You
goop.
poured it in a little bowl, and he was just like, "Yeah, it's like creepy
Yeah,
crawlers."
it's creepy
Yeah.
crawlers.
No big deal.
Wasn't 4 months of me building these fucking masks. But then, I was telling him about that guy Mike from the Adirondacks. Came
Oh,
up-
Adirondacks Mike was my favorite of all the freaks that we met there. He comes up, he's dressed in like some anime thing that I don't know. He has like
he was Sorrow from One Piece.
and he has like 5 swords on his side and a
swords.
fake beard that he has drawn on.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, this guy's know where the Adirondacks is? I was like, yes. And he's like, that's where I'm from. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Would you like to smoke this weed tobacco mixture that I have? Yeah. And we were like, no,
we're good,
We're
Mike.
good.
And he was
So-
like, you guys are on mushrooms. You got costumes. You got the power of friendship. You guys are doing great.
He did say we had the power.
Yeah,
of
I was like,
friendship.
all right, calm down.
That would be
The power of
incredible.
friendship is real.
I also you can tell this was a real lonely, like autistic guy who doesn't have a lot of friends because he was like, it's like just completely unprompted, just goes, yeah, I almost brought my LSD, but then I was like, last minute, just didn't bring it. I was like, okay,
So
cool,
did
man.
you give him?
Oh, I had a tea, and I unzipped my bag, and the speaker's going. And as I handed to him, it changed to Pharoah Munch's Simon Says, which has that Godzilla sample in it. So I'm pulling out the tea, and you hear bum, 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 bum. And it's just Dr. Doom is handing him this potion.
So we gave that to that sweet kid, and
And the
do you think
kid
he
took
did it?
it?
I think he did it.
There's no fucking way.
Oh,
he
so
did.
he didn't like just tag along the rest of the day.
God,
He was
no.
gone.
Thank God,
He
no.
took a tea and
No, we ended up-
and disappeared.
Yeah, I wanted to just give it to him so he would go away.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to hang out with the people I was with, but there was so many. Because one of the things on mushrooms is that the vibe of the people around you have to be round, I guess.
Well, it has to be a little bit in sync feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you were
yeah.
feeling like.
And if someone's on coke or someone's on something like drunks or whatever, their vibe is just very jagged,
Yeah.
and it's very not conducive to me having a good time.
100%.
And there would be a couple times where people would come over and start talking to us, and I would just put the mask down just to be like, okay,
I
I'm
have to-
inside.
I'm sorry, you
Right.
no longer exist.
It probably works. Like
Yeah.
it's a good separation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know
'cause-
it works. It's like my camel glasses.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Once
because
you have
with the
a
mask,
barrier.
you have like this much space. You can just see the inside of the mask, and it feels like you're inside looking out a window,
Yeah.
and it gives you that personal bubble.
Right,
and you're like,
right.
all right, you get the fuck away.
Guess
from
what?
me.
You don't know I'm high anymore.
Right, you lift and there's a cop there. You're like,
It's important for the friends to kind of bring you back too if you stray a little
Yeah,
bit.
and we kept
Always.
like riding the elevators with having music and stuff, and like there was some guy that had a shirt on that said "Goon Squad." All right, and he was like, "Do you guys goon or do you edge?" Because gooning is the new term for masturbating.
is that right?
Yeah,
yeah.
The kids are
Gooning.
gooning these
God,
days.
yeah, I can't
what,
keep up.
So what
Oh.
is edge?
Edge is where you get to the point where you're about to come and then you stop.
I would say, whoa, Davis, you don't know about edging?
No.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen
Edging.
that? Have you guys seen that guy who was gooning at like a Chick-fil-A? He goes to the Chick-fil-A drive-thru and he's gooning, okay? And they kicked him out and wouldn't serve him, and then that guy ended up killing
Oh
himself.
yeah, I did
okay?
hear about that.
And then that same thing, I don't know if it's a Chick-fil-A, it could have been a McDonald's or something. Everybody descended upon it and went through the drive-thru pantsless and started gooning. Again, they're like, you killed this man! Like this.
Take this. Right.
But then when we get off the elevator, the guy was like, it's 4 Dr. Dooms, and he was like, "Do you guys edge or do you goon?" And I was like, "Doom never edges. Doom always goons."
Gooning to completion is Doom's way.
Yeah, we all had our own Dr. Doom voices that we would do. Brian just kept doing Bane from
Yeah.
Batman. He'd be like, "I am Dr. Doom."
I was
Bane
raised
from
in
Batman.
darkness.
What a choice.
Yeah, he does a good Bane.
He does.
Hey, let me ask you, Tommy, while I'm thinking about it, your singing background. Like, you've got a pleasant voice and your harmonies are fucking tasty.
Yeah, I don't think we went into
Were
that
you
last
in the
time.
choir as a child? Or what's the deal?
No, I got pussy. So singing for me, growing up, I always had like a very high pitched voice, and not realizing that I had a lower register, and I had spent many a night like trying to get my voice down lower until I could, and it was I didn't sing anything until my parents took me to karaoke. And I would always sing, almost not scream, but do like the kind of like vocal fry.
Right.
And then my mom, when my parents separated,
We can dive into that.
Shut up, you broken home freak!
my dad said it because my voice was too high. No, when my parents separated, one of the ways I would spend time with my mom is we would go twice a week to karaoke.
Nice.
And I would always sing songs like in that vocal fry. And there was some guy that was like, "Hey, try it without doing that." Like, just try to sing. And like, so I tried to sing and actually found out, I was like, oh, I can actually sing. And then that karaoke guy he had the karaoke Grammy Awards he would run every year. And I won Best Male Rock Vocalist, and then was on WJZ's morning show around Monday and everything. And so since then, that's just one of the things I have in my back pocket is I can sing.
I think the funniest thing is like, the way we practice is like we'll kind of write a song, right? And then I have to learn it just by listening to it over and over again. Right. So we'll kind of come over to my house and record it. My favorite thing is when Tommy records a track the first time, he doesn't know it well enough to hide his Baltimore accent. So like things will be like in the water and like, I love listening
my special girl.
You're my special girl, hon. Like that. And I'm like, there's some great B-sides I have of original recordings where it's just full on. He can't mask it at all.
That's awesome. That's funny. Yeah, that's wonderful shit.
It's my favorite thing. Man.
So I want to jump in. We'll talk about the DLP agenda a little bit. I was at the Halloween Whodunit 7 p.m. show.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. We saw
you guys were. You guys were pretty lit, from what I understand.
7:30 show Halloween.
Where was that? Magoob's?
At the Magoobies, yeah.
Magoobies? Yeah, we were. I mean, we usually get lit up, especially for that one, because we've done the Halloween Whodunit.
Well, I heard you ate
the
prop. You ate all the props. You ate all the black licorice.
It was like a black licorice thing, and
we came out and we didn't have the prop for it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but what I wanted to talk about was some of your characters, which are amazing. So there was Freddie Mercury Krueger.
Yeah.
There was Michael Myers Jackson,
Colonel,
and there was my favorite, the
Macho Man, Colonel Sanders.
The
hybrid character. I mean,
the Macho Man Randy Sanders.
The Macho Man Randy Sanders. And then
with 7 herbs and spices.
Oh my God.
And then he came out wearing Tommy's pants too.
Yeah.
Well, he told me to bring fat pants
Right.
for him to wear because he's supposed to be Ozempic
jelly roll.
Yeah.
Ozempic gel, right?
Which I mean,
great.
it doesn't feel nice. You're like, yeah, just bring your regular pants, you fat ass.
Hey, fat. bring me your skinny jeans. I want to swim in them.
One of the acts I came out in Tommy's pants and they were like painted on me.
Yeah.
Yes,
my pants.
that they were. So my brother-in-law was the ex-boyfriend. He got called up. He was part of that show.
Oh, nice.
It was
Now that
funny.
was we did that show last year, 2 years ago, and that's when I had just finished my Mando costume.
Yeah.
So I end up I was like, hey, I'll wear my Mando suit, and I wore it 7 shows, and at the end of every show to be outside getting our fucking attaboys, no one said shit about my costume. They all wanted to be like, oh, I loved your costumes.
Right.
Where'd you get it? I was like, oh, Party City.
I was like, I 3D printed these for weeks on end. I was like, that guy just bought it at a store.
Right.
Well, the one that I was like, I'm never fucking wearing this again. There was I made a Whistling Bird gauntlet, right? Which I had 3D printed it. Sanded it all up. I had my gauntlet, and then found out that Disney had a child's toy, a Whistling Bird's toy, and it looked so similar to mine that I was like, I wonder if I can gut it and put the electronics from that in my gauntlet.
Right.
So I spent a week doing that. I had to desolder every connection on the board, resolder in new things. Reran the batteries. I turned the momentary switch that would activate it into I replaced it with a magnetic switch. So all I had to do was flick my hand plate and everything would activate. And so I'm wearing it, and we're
I can't
standing.
believe you do all this and you're blessed with a huge cock.
Hey, doesn't help.
God isn't fair.
So at the end of the show at Bright Box Theater, right? Eric's Michael Jackson Myers, right? And he's wearing a sequin glove, and we're standing outside saying goodbye to everyone. This woman starts walking over to both of us. She goes, "Hey, does your glove light up?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, actually, I 3D printed it, and Disney made a toy, and I took a chance. I bought it and I gutted it and put all the electronics in it, and now it lights up and it makes sound." She was like, "No, I meant his glittery glove."
This Party City, which by the way, my finger's like bursting through part of it like that. It's broken.
Yeah, and I was like,
You said, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get in with those guys? Who have you guys been with those guys since the beginning?
Since the beginning of Die Laughing Productions. So Joe, they had the idea. Joe Robinson went to a murder mystery in D.C. and thought it sucked so bad that he was like, I can do this.
Right.
Yeah,
So
he was like, it was the worst fucking thing I saw, but I paid $40, and I was like, well, I could make a funny one of these.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
So,
he
That's
asked,
a great Joe Robinson.
yeah. So anyway, I thought like we can make money off this, and then most of the time I'm like, we have these ideas, it never happens. But then when Justin said you do it, I was like, all right, we'll see. And then that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it was just
So they just called comics that they knew.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have called myself a friend of Joe Robinson.
Yeah.
At that
Right.
point. But he was like I think I'd worked with Rob one or two times, and Rob was like, "Yeah, there's this comic, Tommy Sinbazo."
Yeah.
We,
I wasn't an original pick though. Do you know the only reason I'm in Die Laughing Productions is because Josh Caderna turned it down. Josh Caderna was going to be the me.
You mean I could have had Bussi with Josh Caderna?
You could have been doing this whole time with
Right.
Josh. Your life would be completely changed.
Well, you know, Dorian Violet Gray was supposed to be in the
Yeah.
first one, but he looked too much like a woman.
Yeah.
So Violet Gray, Dorian Gray, when he's female presenting is Violet Gray.
Right.
When he's male presenting is Dorian Gray, and they
so funny.
wanted someone dressed as a woman, and Violet pulls it off way too well.
Yeah, it looks good.
For it to be funny.
Right.
And then,
know-
which nowadays, thank God, because that wouldn't fly. You can't have a joke like that now.
Yeah, Tommy, you remember when we went overseas and we had to meet all the troops?
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but like we're not big name comedians, but like there's these things when you're on base where you have to talk to the other troops there, and like just have like an hour chat with them, and we're like, we're not fucking important, like, and people like we like sign stuff and like this will be worth nothing. But, like,
My signature ruins this thing.
Yeah. So like there's somebody.
He said we're nickelbaggers from Baltimore. Trust me. Like,
There's somebody. You realize that like somebody died in Iraq, and like they were like, send this back to my family, and it's just our autographs. but so
We signed a bomb too.
yeah.
That's a
Really?
We went to the base that that the Moab came out of.
Right.
The mother of all bombs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they, because all that base exists for in Jordan is that we just send up drones. So everyone there supports the drones. They send the drones up, and then once it gets a certain distance away, the control gets taken over by another base. It does its bombing run and then comes back to this for service and rearming. And they were, after one of our shows, the guys were like, "Hey, you guys want to sign a bomb?" We're like, "Oh, okay." All right.
And as you're signing it, you realize like, man, I hope this actually goes off because I
Right.
don't really want to like. If it's a dud, they were like, all right, here's Erik Woodworth, who also has small penis drawn next to name, added to Hitler's. And like, but that wasn't the thing I was getting.
I
Tommy.
put cheers from Tom Myers on it.
Yeah, but Tommy, we would, one of the things we would ask is like Tommy would ask, he's like, hey, you got a girl back home, and people would tell us about like their girls and stuff, and Tommy was like, he's like, yeah, I got a girl back home, and he pulled up a picture of Violet, and he show Violet guy. He's like, yeah, I can't wait to get back home and suck her dick. It never didn't crush.
No,
It was
Right, I'm
always-
sure.
it was always-
Yeah.
Had to.
It's a killer bit. Killer bit. Incredible. That's good
That's
shit.
amazing.
So you were the second pick for DLP agenda.
I was.
That's good shit. That's good history.
And then
to
I
know.
moved
Yeah,
up
I got
the rank.
outvoted.
Right.
And then I was given more opportunities because another member died of a
Jesus.
overdose. So
Bad cocaine mixed with a heart murmur.
Right.
Let's not say overdose.
Right. It could go either
Listen,
way.
And then he was found by a comedian that had a debilitating stutter.
Yeah.
I might have played a part in it too.
yeah, like come to this address, sir. We need to know where it is. We did make.
Acquaintance is.
But yeah, it's R.I.P. Dylan Meyer.
Yeah,
who,
Dylan's a great fucking dude.
But that was like I used to I always, I mean, growing up, I always thought like Chris Farley obviously is hilarious,
Yeah,
fat
sure.
man, but I really loved Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of a fat guy coming out half naked.
Oh, my
and
God, yeah.
it's when Dylan, I don't even think Dylan was dead at the time, but he just couldn't do this one in Virginia Beach, and I had to play that waiter role in one of the original ones, which is just kind of a boring role where you just kind of interrupt and like, I have these chicken wings and it's whatever. And like, I decided that I would come out more undressed every time until the last act. I'm just in an apron. That's the only thing I wear out, and it destroyed. And Joey's like, so you have to do that every time now. So it's so much that if I don't get naked at one of the DLP shows, like fans get angry. Like they're like, you didn't fucking get naked on this one. And sometimes I'll do it at like the last act. And I was like, I'm not getting naked at this one. And he was like, I've changed. I've really grown as a person. And then for the last act, I'm just, for no reason.
Did you get naked at my show? I don't think you did.
No,
Macho Man is as naked as I get in that one.
Yeah.
So
Now there was one time we were running. The first one was called The Last Act, right? Was that the first? Murder
The
Mystery?
Last Laugh.
Last Laugh.
Yeah.
And it's the roast of a comedian that had made it big, comes home to his hometown, and is just a shitty dickbag to everybody, and then gets poisoned and dies. Right?
Oh, wow.
And we were in
R.I.P. Dylan.
we were in Virginia Beach, and Erik was doing the waiter, and I'm supposed to be this dickbag comedian, and then I die, and I'm supposed to come back as the detective. So Erik has to bring me the drink that is poison.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So he goes back, and usually it's just fucking water or something.
Yeah.
So Erik goes back, comes back. I take a slug of it. It is 90% Tabasco.
Oh, God. And you're on stage, right?
Luckily, I have to die, and I'm like, and he's like, I think he's dead. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Our two favorite bits to do is like see if we can slip a weird drink to somebody on stage. But the other one is when whoever's died, how much can we touch that person's penis before they're dead. They're not allowed to move. So
Right.
you just we basically violate Joe Robinson or Rob.
We do.
or
There's one
whoever.
that we want to try to pull off. Maybe this will be the year to do it.
Yeah.
We want to slip a Blue Chew into Rob Mayer's drink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just so he has to come out fully turgid. by act
just,
two.
fully turgid.
just fucking a diving board cock. Like,
Yeah. He's got to do like a fucking tuck underneath the belt for the rest of the time. Like,
God, I don't know what's going on. My dick is so hard, guys.
Now, as the boss, would
my
he
God.
find humor in that, or would it?
no, he made it.
He would totally hate it.
We did the one prank to Joe where he had to wear a glove at one point, and you put numbing cream in there. So he put his hands in, and he's like, I can't fucking feel my hands at all.
Yeah, he has to play a homeless guy, and we put numbing cream from the dentist in his gloves, and he puts his gloves on, and like it takes a good 10 minutes, but he's sitting there and he's like,
Can't feel my hands.
It's like I'm having a
I
heart
can't feel my
attack.
fucking hands, guys. We're like,
Don't worry, you'll be fine in like 2 days.
That's incredible. That's
But-
wonderful stuff.
We did. Oh, there's one other thing I was going to say. So Tommy's other favorite thing is that we drive a lot of places. Usually, we'll take the truck and load up all our stuff. But Tommy, he loves pissing right outside of the truck.
well, I have
So
diabetes, so it makes me pee a lot.
I feel like before you were diabetic, this was still a thing already. This is a choice that you've made in your life.
No.
where,
I have a medical condition.
What do you mean?
So-
he pees right outside the truck? Like
Like
doesn't
the
even get out?
second-
Second he
Second
Get
we
out,
stop,
open the doors, just
door,
fucking piss.
no matter where you are.
Yeah.
He's draped and he's splashing on the running board, right?
Wow,
So
that's a weird. Okay, that's a
this-
strange condition.
recently though, and it's so much so that like he'll do it in parking garages, and like we've had parking attendants come up, and I have to run like distraction. I'm like, oh, hello, sir, good day.
He has a medical condition.
I'm actually quite the salesman. Are you interested in some of these fine Bussi stamps? And so I've done this, but Tommy did one that I found kind of egregious. Like we were leaving an Airbnb in the morning, and I had Joe riding with me, and Tommy's like, "Oh, hold on one second." He's standing there, and I already have the car running, ready to pull off, and he just starts taking a piss on the streets of Winchester. And it is like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. He's just taking a piss in broad daylight next to my truck, and I was just like, okay. And I just pulled off while he's
Nice.
and now he's just pissing on a sidewalk.
So I mean, do you like when you're
It's
pulling
great.
up to somewhere? Do you just pull your dick out and you like get you ready
Yeah.
as soon as the door opens?
No,
you're ready
I've
to
learned
go.
like at work, if I had to go into the office like during the pandemic or something, my cock was out before I went into the bathroom. And now, like,
That's amazing.
Now
Why
there's
is it
more
a
people.
prostate thing? You have to get it ready. Like, why don't you just wait?
so because I've been holding it for the whole car ride.
Okay, so it's a
So with diabetes,
necessity thing.
since your cells are insulin resistant, your kidneys process the sugar.
Okay, that's what.
So
I'm
to
asking,
get it out, like especially this year I've been better taking my pills and shots twice a day, and now I'm intermittent fasting. But it got to a point where I went and had blood work, and I was on a Saturday, and I was seeing my doctor on Monday.
Right.
And my doctor actually, when I saw her on Monday, she was like, "I called you." And I'm like, why? Why would you call me? And she was like, because I got your blood work results and needed to warn you how high your blood sugar
It was like motor oil or something.
So we ended up, so I have to pee.
As he's hearing this, like the Skittles are falling out of your mouth.
Yeah,
Like,
it was horrible. I'm like eating a peep sandwich.
Peep sandwich.
they're peep dogs. Hot dogs stuffed with peeps.
That's funny shit.
So yeah, I just have to piss, and then I just piss next to the truck.
Well, you know, this
like
this son of a bitch can't throw stones. This guy, we go to see concerts, and I mean, I'm standing in the parking lot, and this is just common. You know, like I'm standing, I'm talking to him. He's as close to me as this microphone. We're eye to eye, and I'm going, yeah, and we're gonna go in. And as I'm talking to him, he's like, yeah, and he turns sideways, and I'm looking him in the eye, and I'm going, do you have your dick in your hand? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you're just peeing. People are walking.
Yeah.
You know, he's just peeing. As I'm eye locked with
I
him.
didn't want to miss anything.
And I'm sitting there going, for fuck's sake, like, go to a bush. So we walk 2 feet left to a bush,
Right.
and he starts peeing in the bush. But he and you ought to go
Yeah.
bowling, for
Yeah,
fuck's
We'd
sake.
have some
remember-
piss fun.
Yeah, the people were like, why are your shoes wet at this bowling alley?
When I was used to play rugby, one of the things that, you know, if you had to take a piss, you didn't want to have to go run all the way to go off like the field and everything. So like pregame, I learned to move very early on from people that would just do this all the time. Rugby, you wear real short shorts,
Right.
so people just like take a knee while they're stretching, just slip it out the
Oh,
side, and just
yeah.
go while you're like, yep, just take a stretch, and meanwhile you're just making a giant puddle of
Wow,
piss on the
that's an
side.
You know
interesting.
that's called the Tennessee side piss.
Right.
The Tennessee side piss.
when we would LARP, and like you have all your fucking armor on and everything, instead of taking your armor, like your Tarouges off and everything, you would just pull your dick out the side of your pants and piss, and it was just called the Tennessee side
The,
piss.
t-
Oh, I
the
didn't
old
even know there was
Tennessee
a-
side piss.
Were you a LARPer? Did you get into LARPing?
No,
with
I
Tommy?
wasn't a LARPer.
No?
I never got into it.
No.
You know,
No.
I met Tommy. It's funny. My wife at one time said she was just since I've stopped playing rugby, I now go to conventions and I play D&D
Yep.
once a week with Tommy on Laugh Finder, and she's like. And she found out that I love sci-fi and all this stuff. She was like, "The fuck are you? I married a jock, and you're a fucking dork." I was like, "Trick you, bitch!"
Right, you took a hard left
so-
here after rugby.
Damn. Do you guys play D&D once a week?
We do. We have a podcast called Laugh Finder.
Right.
Nice.
And which we just started posting our 10th season. We've been doing it for like 10 years. We just started posting our 10th season this past week.
Okay.
And each season is a new campaign. Sometimes we'll do new characters for that campaign.
Wow.
This is new characters, which kind of sucks because like we don't really get past level 4
Wait a
or
minute.
5 out of a
Are you
season.
saying you have a live, or not live, but you have a D&D podcast where you play on the podcast?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So
With,
it's
how
like
many
a Twitch
people?
It's all
type thing,
comics.
or?
No, we do it on Facebook. We stream it to Facebook Live, and then we put the audio gets posted on all the fucking social things.
I got you. Interesting.
But we've been doing. It used to be before Eric joined. It was me, Brian Preston.
I know that cat
Yeah.
from the show, the variety shows. He's
Oh,
the
yeah,
long
yeah.
haired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Me,
Cool
Brian
dude.
Preston, Jim Meyer, Violet Gray, or Dorian is our DM, And then we used to have Aaron Hinken of WYPR.
Yeah.
And he was like the everyman, which he would be the one that would say the most offensive shit.
That's always how it is.
Like, because he wouldn't understand why, like, he would, he calling lesbians the D word.
Yeah, and he was just like, I remember I've seen Dykes at one time.
Yeah, and it's like, Eric!
I thought that was the preferred nomenclature. See, but he says it so sincerely that you're like, he's kind of like your grandpa. You're like, it's like he's from a different.
It's a different time, right?
a different time.
But so then Aaron got a new. He stopped doing WYPR, got a new job. Wasn't able to do the recording schedule. But we brought Eric in when Jim left.
And now we have the great Ashley Pontius.
Yeah, now we have Ashley, which I fucking love Ashley.
She's so funny.
So funny. But yeah, this year we're doing Pathfinder 2nd edition. We all have new characters where I'm playing a gnoll, like a hyena person, called Barabbas Kane. He's the coldest colo from the deep north.
Barabbas Kane.
So I'm not in the
love that
D&D
name.
game at all, but I'm aware of it and I respect it. I get the whole culture. Let me ask you your opinion as someone deep in the game. What was the problem with the Dungeons and Dragons film?
I didn't think there was any problem.
No, there's
I
no
thought it was
problem.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so as
I liked it.
players,
Yeah.
you guys respected it. You thought it
Yeah,
was...
but
Well, especially like the most recent
But the
one.
film was based more on the cartoon, right?
No.
No, they weren't the same characters
No,
from the cartoon.
there was those characters from the cartoon were background characters
Okay,
in one of the
okay.
scenes.
It's so
Okay.
funny. I got to tell you, because I'm a film head, as you know, but when that movie came out, it was a notorious bomb. And
The most recent one?
a couple years ago...
Yeah,
The one
yeah.
with Channing Tatum, right?
Yes.
No, Channing.
No, it's Chris
Or no,
Pine.
Chris
Chris
Pine.
Pine, yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Pine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, I fuck. That,
Yeah,
that's
well,
a
I'm
great
not
movie.
saying it wasn't a good
good.
movie, but box office
Yeah.
numbers-wise,
yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't
Well, yeah,
deliver.
you know it's gonna bomb. But
Well, no,
people
because
that like
Dungeons
it,
and Dragons
yeah,
is a
people like
big
it, like it.
universe,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I thought maybe it didn't do well because it wasn't true to like
No,
like
you
the
could
dungeon.
go through and like they were. I think they were even playing Forgotten Realms was the setting.
Yeah, it just felt like Guardians of the Dungeonverse.
Oh, so you dug it.
It was cool.
But like,
Like,
all the spells, you could be okay. That's Bigsby's grasping hand.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. You could all the spells matched up and everything.
Nice.
I mean, that had a bird person, and Erok was in it. That first scene. I mean, it checked all the boxes.
That's
Well,
funny
that's
though.
good,
You
yeah.
cannot talk to D&D about people who don't play or have never played
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they look at you like you're a fool.
I think that may have been
I did
the
that to
reason,
you
that may
in
have been
Florida.
the reason that it failed, right? I mean, it just maybe D&D does have this. It's a very welcoming game. We want people to play
Right.
all the time, but there is like. If you sit down and like see people playing, it seems like such a fucking completely different world.
It's a whole
that you
other
have to
world.
take on so much learning. But they made a movie where you don't need to
Right.
know
Yeah.
anything about it, and I think that can sometimes.
It might
scare
have been the
people off.
first. Now there was those first two D&D movies that were very bad.
Right.
The ones that had one of the Wayans was in the first one.
Is that right? I don't know if I
Yeah,
remember
I think it was
those.
Marlon, right?
Yeah, Marlon Wayans was
Wayans.
in the first one, and then there was another guy. I mean, the second movie wasn't that good, so it might have been people's perception of those two movies to
Right.
this one. But I mean, if you're listening, if you've never seen it, if you like fantasy movies in general, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I'm going to check it out because, again, I
haven't
never
seen
gave
it?
it a shot.
What
No.
the fuck?
I know. It's like I feel like a dick now.
No, it's really good.
I let the streets dictate my opinion.
Yeah, I took when I played D&D in Florida. And we had a blast, but then I came home and was trying to explain to him like what happened.
I'm going. Look, he's good because.
Well, it made its budget back at least. It was a $150 million movie, and it made $205.
Oh shit! Okay, well,
box
that's not
office
bad. Yeah, that's
worldwide.
not bad at all.
I mean,
I just
it's a
remember as
flop,
far as the
but-
box office
Right.
weekend,
Was
it
there?
didn't,
Was
it
I
didn't
mean,
do
did
what
they
they
set it up
wanted
for
it
a
to
sequel?
do.
Yeah, I
You
feel
could
like
do
they-
another
I mean,
one,
they
or
can.
you could do now in that setting. There's a shit ton of novels in Forgotten Realms. You could do the Dark Elf trilogy with Dritz Duerden. You could do
I read that one.
The Havling Gem. Yeah, you read all those off my behest.
Okay,
did.
so real quick,
They were
in the
good.
Dungeon and Dragon world of books, is there like a couple key authors that you guys are like, oh man, that's the king
S.A.
of.
Salvatore.
R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah.
R.A. Salvatore is
He's the only one I've read. But
He's my
pretty good.
favorite author. So in high school, my dad had a coworker that gave him 2 brown shopping bags full of D&D novels.
Wow.
And my dad was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. And I worked my way through and I read every single one of those novels. And so I've read all sorts of these different stories. And the one that stuck out, there's this author, R.A. Salvatore, who wrote the Clerical Quintet, the Dark Elf Trilogy, or the Dark Elf Saga, the Haveling Gem, like all these D&D stories. And his writing, especially in the battles, is so descriptive.
Interesting.
And that man,
He talks about how hacking things really with an eloquency that only a playwright could have. It's great.
And there, he wrote other things, like he's written, there's like this demon novel series that he's doing, I've never read, and he's also done a novelization of one of the Star Wars films.
And oddly enough, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I didn't know that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But
It's a weird
The weird thing about him is that he's from Boston, right? And he has a heavy Boston accent, but he writes about dark elves and their city of Menzoberranzan, which is in like deep within the earth. And
by the way, listeners, ladies, maybe put a towel down. But we're about to get into some real hot stuff.
I want to hear him. I want to hear him say these words he made up.
Right.
I'm
Like, you want to hear an audiobook of him reading the story.
The dark elves in the Underdark down there in the Menzoberranzan. It's wicked dark.
The wicked dark
She
elves.
grabbed my sword.
Yeah.
Dude, I've always wanted to play it. Nobody's ever wanted to play it.
Well,
with
remember
me.
how you're right, because I'm a bit of a whack job gentleman in a different kind of a way. But we lived together in Florida. This is like 98,
I was a half
1998
human,
or something
half
like this.
lion character.
But he came home one day trying to explain to me where he had been for a couple hours playing Dungeons and Dragons, and man, I'm going, wait. What? What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, the dungeon master was reading the stories. I'm like, the dungeon? Who the fuck
he
are
wasn't
you
reading
talking
them.
about?
Is this a
I was just trying to
Right,
explain
I
the
said,
world.
what the
Like, it
hell's
was still
going
real
on?
and in my
Yeah.
imagination. And
Right.
he wasn't feeling
But
it.
after you play D&D, if like years now, like I used to play in high school.
And we were getting fucked up, too.
Yeah. And again, I respect it now that I get it. I'm like, okay. We started doing, he started talking about Magic the Gathering, even though he didn't get deep into that. It was around that era and stuff like that. But
if I look back and think about the campaigns that I was in as a kid and everything, I don't remember sitting at a table and rolling dice. I remember my character running from the town guards as he's throwing out a deck of many things to create illusions to escape. And and I remember my friend Harold trying to seduce a guard by sucking its dick.
in Dungeons and Dragons?
I mean,
Who knew?
There's the thing. Dorian does write us, is an amazing writer, and he does a great job of setting up this world and this campaign that we're on. And 99% of the time, we're like, "Hey, can we? What do I have to do a performance roll to fuck this thing?" Or do we, like it'll be like a 10-foot ogre will be like, "I would like to roll diplomacy to fuck."
We had this one giant that we had a giant that was under our control, and Brian Preston was like, "Can I shit in its hands? What do I got to roll? Is that a Constitution check?" and Dorian will be like, he won't even pay attention. He'll keep going, and then you see Brian roll dice. Will a 16 let me shit in his hands?
We should
he
roll
rolls
a 16.
He rolled a 20, and he was like, "Oh, did I critically shit in his hands?"
That's incredible, dude. The world you guys have created. It's incredible.
So, yeah, I want to talk. These are kind of two questions, just to see, because I have a feeling this might be some pretty good stories. If you can remember, maybe the most entertaining show you've had, and possibly the worst show you've had.
The worst ones are always easier to remember.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or maybe your favorite show. But then the worst. I got to hear about like just the most outrageous experience you've had.
I mean, the good ones, there's been plenty of really good, great shows that I've had in my life, but they're fleeting. It's the ones that stink that really stick with you.
Right.
And I think Tommy would agree, the worst show we've ever done, apart from this Dave and Buster's we did like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right, you mentioned Dave and
we can go
Buster's.
into that too.
Well, no, that it pales in comparison to the Potomac Riverboat.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There's not a worse show we've ever done than that.
So we do these murder mysteries that we've talked about. We used to do this Christmas one. Now in the Christmas ones, I've already said that Eric gets naked, right?
Yeah.
It happens.
So what we would do is before the show, Eric's playing Santa, right? Before the show, we'd be like, "Hey, who wants sign up now at the midpoint of the show. We'll have you come out and you can sit on Santa's lap and tell him what you want for Christmas, right? And I was like, oh, okay. So they all signed up, not knowing that by the midpoint of the show, Erik is just wearing a beard and his underwear.
Right.
Yeah, I'm undressed, and I remember at the beginning. So the Potomac Riverboat is like, it's a casino on a boat that was back in the days where there was no laws that say we can't gamble on the high seas.
Right.
So that was like, that's how old this place is. And it is just, first of all, it is a sea of sadness the second you walk in. I mean, there's people betting on horse races that shouldn't. It's just degenerate gamblers and old people that are, and it's just sad.
Yeah,
right?
and it's in a golf cart community.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a good place. And we get in there, and early in the show, before it starts, Katie Robinson, it was in the bathroom, and she said there was a mentally challenged girl in there.
This was this was the midpoint of the show.
Was that mid? No, because before, I'm talking about the chapstick. The chapstick happened before the show started.
Okay, so but we had exposure to that young girl.
Yes, this is before the show started.
Okay, so some guy had his daughter there who Justin was probably plunging to raise money for.
Right.
All right, I got it.
And so apparently Katie was in the bathroom with this girl. She comes out, the girl comes out covered in shit.
Ooh.
Had to wipe with a rag. There was so much shit, right? And so she sees Katie putting chapstick on, and she go, not making
Go ahead.
She makes noises. She goes, chappy stick.
Right.
So Katie's like, oh, sure. And the girl just paints her face, hands it back to Katie. And Katie, without looking, just puts the cap on and gets out of there. And she comes to tell us while we're backstage. Well, backstage at this place is behind a curtain next to the kitchen.
Yeah, we're just in a kitchen green room and getting dressed.
And Katie starts telling us about, she was like, oh my God, there's this girl, this poor mentally challenged girl's hair. She comes out, she's covered in shit, washes herself with a rag. She wants my chapstick. I give it to her. She applies it, hands it back to me, and she opens it. She's like, and there's shit on it.
Yeah. No, and
There is shit.
There's not only shit, there's like a visible thing of like lip meat, like a little chunk of like lip crap that has come off of her lip.
Skin.
And so she's holding it out.
Skin chunk.
She's holding it out, and Justin, I guess, is doing the bit to see if he can get how close he could get to it. Like,
Yeah, he's like, let me get a smell. Let me get a smell on
and
that.
I fucking slap Katie's hand, and it goes into his mouth. He's like,
He didn't tell us that story.
and this was like early on into knowing Justin. Like,
Yeah.
this is one of those. Hope he's cool with this.
How did he take that?
He took it good. He was like, oh my fucking God.
After he stopped throwing up, he thought it was really funny.
Well, I bet.
But then, so the show starts, and this young woman can't stay quiet
Yes.
during the show.
And usually you'd crowd work something like that, but now you're like, oh, we can't say anything.
Right, you don't want to make a spectacle
Yeah,
out
I
of it,
can't.
right.
She can't be the joke.
So we
though.
get up to the midpoint of the show, and they had signed her up to sit on Santa's lap.
Yeah, her dad signed her up to
Oh
sit on
my
Santa's
God,
lap. So
that's
I am
incredible.
not wearing anything but underwear and a beard.
Oh,
and
that's
here
wonderful.
she comes sauntering up. She sits on me. I was like, and what would you like for Christmas, little
Yeah.
girl? And she just makes noises again. I was just like, oh. I was like, a Walmart gift card? And her dad goes, if you know what she's saying, you're a better man than I. So her dad's shitting on her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? What are we doing right? By the way, nobody's entertained. We're not entertained by the dad.
Because it's all the
Did
shows.
she still have shit on her when she was sitting on you?
I thought she smelled fine.
Christ almighty.
It was lightly attended. Maybe 12 people were there, less than 20.
Yeah.
And they were older. And our show is dirty.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Right.
None of them had a good time.
No, they're just like,
Yeah.
That's an incredible story.
We were the only ones that had a good time. I had a great time.
do you remember though when we caught those two walking out? Did you see them walking to their car? I don't. This is under talked about, but they were walking out, and I saw the vehicle they went into. he was driving a 2-door truck that had a cap on it, and in the back of the cap was like a elevated, it looked like shelving underneath, and on top of it was like a bed that ran the full back of the thing. They bang her up. He sticks her in the back of the truck on top of the bed, slams it closed, he's like, see y'all boys later.
Starts doing donuts in the parking lot.
And I was like, what is happening? That's shout out to the Potomac Riverboat.
Yeah, we never
we'll
went
go
back. Wait, we did go back, but for a Valentine's show.
Did we do a Valentine's
Yeah, we did a
show
Valentine's show.
Wow,
yeah.
you went back. That's
Hey,
balls.
money's money.
Yeah.
There is a price that we go back to be just not entertained. Like you'll do a corporate gig, they're not gonna like it.
Yeah,
but
right.
you know, it's still like, oh well, that is a PlayStation 5, so
Yeah,
I'll
right.
do it.
Yeah, right. I
You
played
guys
an
do a
80s
lot of
cover
corporate
band,
gigs?
and we do corporate gigs sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
the strangest thing.
Right.
It always is the weirdest gigs. You get the best pay. My wife's always like, yeah, but they pay good. But it really is thankless.
But
Like,
people
there's-
you can't be happy around the people you work with because you
Yeah, you
have to
can't
see
laugh
these people.
at filthy
again.
things next to
Right.
people you have to see.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
It's-
I have a corporate gig. I have a gig at Magooby's on Wednesday, and the pay it's like $600 for 45 minutes, and I'm just gonna eat that dick. And
Right, that's what I mean.
Dude,
It's like
I mean, that's
yeah.
good pay.
it
It's
is
good
good
pay.
pay, but it's strange
Right.
because as an artist, it's like if you're on the sidelines, people are always like, "Yeah, but you're getting paid." So, but there is some sort of
You
emotional
sell part
bounty.
of your soul for
There's
that.
a
Well,
there's
that's
an
what I'd
emotional
say to you when
bounty
you sit there-
in performing for someone who
know,
gives
you-
a shit.
Right, when
Yeah,
you
you
have
know
to
what I
sit
mean?
in the snow and with the plow, and I'm
Oh,
like,
my
but you are
God.
getting time and a half.
Yeah, fuck off.
Tommy,
Fuck off.
you should
Don't
just
bring up the snow.
You should just go out one time and just do like an old Bill Cosby bit, just like and just lift an entire Bill Cosby set for it.
Do the
Because
building
what-
of the ark.
Yeah. It's just like, my son asked if he could have chocolate cake for breakfast.
Me and my cousin Rudy would get Spanish fly from Mexico.
What, at a corporate gig, you're saying?
Yeah, just
right,
corporate
right,
gig.
right.
Because what's going to happen?
There's two types of black people.
Hi, I'm Tom Williams.
Yeah, just go, hey, boo-boo. How you guys doing, boo-boo?
So what was your best gig? Like or what was one of your better gigs if that was one of your worst?
If something stands out.
Comedy overseas, especially when we did that
Yeah, that was
AJAB
pretty strong.
base.
Yeah, MSAB.
Yeah, the
MSAB in Jordan was pretty good.
How many times have you gone overseas to do?
Twice.
Twice.
We
We did
did
a
Jordan,
2-week
which was like a long weekend,
Right.
and then we did a 2-week tour of
Kuwait,
Damn.
United Arab Emirates, Djibouti, Africa,
Bahrain.
So, I mean, are you guys like escorted everywhere you go, or do you have free reign to go?
No, we were escorted.
Yeah,
I mean, once we
some-
get to the hotel,
Some places are cool. Like Kuwait is one of the safest cities ever. Like people are
yeah.
ridiculously wealthy there.
Right.
But it is a dry city, and it's a dry country because it's like super Islamic. And
Right.
but we our friend Patrick, I remember,
R.I.P.
found.
he's not dead.
He's not dead, but
dead to
he
me.
was using Tinder while he was there, and he picked up a local lady there.
Yeah.
And that lady, one night took us out because this was like during, I forget, was it
2016.
so it was Obama, right? Obama
No,
years.
Trump was president.
Okay, was it
Yeah,
Trump
16.
president?
Yeah, because-
16, yeah.
And the government got shut down.
There was
which
a government
meant
shutdown.
Cable bill didn't get paid for the military.
So we just couldn't watch the playoff game at the base. So we went off base in Kuwait, and like literally, this lady just got the right to drive.
Yeah, like 3 months before.
Like 3 months ago, she couldn't drive and or show her face, and now she could do both of them. And then she got us a bottle of brunettes that cost $80 there, and so we were having a woman drive us around while drinking.
Yeah.
And like we were super villains.
Yeah,
in the
she was like, as
is
we
how
get
you
in this
get locked
car,
up.
we're men that she is not related to, which
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
big no-no. She's like, hey, reach under my seat. And I reach under the seat, and there's a plastic bottle of cherry vodka.
Yeah, right.
And it has a defect. There's no seal on it.
Right, right.
So she's like, go ahead and open that up and take a couple drinks. I'm like, oh, okay.
This is like Midnight Express. You guys
Yeah.
would go to fucking jail over
Oh yeah,
there, man.
this is locked up abroad.
Right, this is serious shit. Bussy.
And then she took us to a rooftop in Kuwait where the Jaguars Patriots game was playing, and we
Wow.
watched it with a bunch of other Americans that had all found this same place.
American contractors, contractors that were working out there. But I remember what was the name that she went? She went by Jay or something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was trying to make conversation with, and she had vitiligo. She was like a calico human, right? And
I was like, what's vitiligo? I got it.
yeah, so I think it was B. Her name was like either B or what's up. And I was like,
Doesn't matter. She's super dead.
Yeah, I was like, what's your real name? And she was like, you won't be able to pronounce it. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, it's Manal. And I was like, Manal. And she goes, see, you can't do it. I was like, well, how's it spelled? And she said Manal. And I was like, anal.
I like that she explained her name as if it was Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Like, it's a sound mere mortals can't make.
Your human
that's
tongue
it.
cannot make the sounds.
Right, it's like, to me, that's not that hard. That
No,
name. I
yeah.
figured it would be a little bit harder.
But
Leave
yeah,
it like
we
that.
were friends on Facebook, and she would do cosplays and go to, I don't know, Kuwaiticon or what.
Kuwaiticon.
Cool way to go.
But and then she died of a heart attack. Like
Damn.
2 years after we were there. Mm-hmm. Well, heart attack. She was also a bisexual Kuwaiti woman.
Yeah.
That was out sleeping with.
You guys stayed in
foreigners.
touch with her?
I did.
mean, you did, so that's
That's
incredible.
incredible.
A heart attack 2 years later.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Manal. I
Yeah.
do think it was very funny because Patrick Melton did have sex with that lady.
Yeah.
And
She was on her period.
yeah, he goes.
He's listening to the show going,
you
damn
go-
it, guys.
You go overseas and they have like different outlets, right? You got to get like adapters, and like he said before he put it in, he's like, "Do I need an adapter? I don't know. I don't know if I can."
He was, and she had to walk in. All these buildings had security. She had to go walk in and go there. He couldn't go down and escort her up.
Right.
Because he was like, she was like, I'll just meet you on your floor.
Right.
And then he was like, why? What will happen if they know? And she was like, the police will come and take us down to the courthouse and force us to get married.
I'd be like, holy shit.
And so after they had sex, like there was some period blood on the sheets, and he's
Oh,
like,
no.
I gotta get rid of this.
I got to get rid of this evidence.
Yeah.
No, sir, it's my period. I know this is not like what we're talking about, but I had this idea earlier today. Can I share with you? And I know
please.
there's no ladies here to help me with this, but I assume you guys have some lady listeners out
Absolutely.
there.
We're knocking
That's
them
a
back.
female predator.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, ma'am, I had this idea. I was like, ladies, if you're listening, and I realize there's not a good answer here, but like, if instead of a period every month, that seems like it takes like a week sometimes and it's bleeding and pads, would you rather have a period or just give birth to one human-sized egg every month instead? And it's just done in one day.
One human size.
Period.
Yeah.
What's a human-sized egg?
Like you know,
Like a
chickens
baby.
make an egg that it has to be proportional to human, like a baby-sized egg.
To a chicken egg to a chicken.
Like a softball.
Proportion,
Yeah.
like a softball.
You know,
size
like
Like an
this.
ostrich.
I'd say cantaloupe,
Like
a
a golden egg
cantaloupe-sized
from
egg.
Willy Wonka.
Like
Hold on.
the egg from Caveman.
This is such so you want that area stretched out to accommodate a cantaloupe once a month, and then think you're knocking the boots off of it.
I didn't say that.
irrelevant.
I'm asking the ladies,
isn't
would
a
they
question
prefer
for
that?
us.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I want to know, would ladies
it's
prefer?
what they prefer, not what we prefer.
No.
Do ladies prefer just to lay eggs if they could? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know.
I think you want to fuck a chicken.
Ladies, email the show when you can. Please email the show.
Are you gonzo?
Because I think if I was a lady and like it's a whole week out of your life every time, and it throws your shit all upside down, I'd just lay one egg.
Yeah, I feel like you might be right. You might
Because you
have
get
some,
used. The first one would suck. It would
Right.
be the worst one. But then after a while, you get used
You
to
know
it.
what to
Curious.
expect.
If anybody
There'd be new
wants to
cooking
chime
channels.
in, email us.
Right. Yeah, because it is a bitch, that whole, no pun intended.
If anybody
Guys,
wants
don't
to
worry.
figure it
It's
out.
The blood
egg-
thing.
The
It's,
mandatory egg laying is part of 2025.
Eric would like to have this question answered. So.
I just want to know. I mean, I
let's
think it's
hear
a.
it.
deep thoughts.
I'll ask
man.
Lou tonight.
So,
We're going to a
yeah.
fancy dinner tonight. I'm
Very
like,
interesting.
Lou, there's a question that's been burning.
Where's the fancy dinner?
The blue, I don't know, blue something in town. Blue
The
oyster
blue,
cult?
the blue waffle.
Yeah, the blue waffle.
Yeah, just go to the blue
Blue
waffle.
Blue, hold on.
in Hamden.
No, this is in Towson.
The
Blue
Sakura
Note?
Blue.
Blue note? No, not blue
The
note.
brown note.
They're just having chicken cordon blue
Blue
in a
Star.
car.
Blue Star.
Fuck, Jose was supposed to tell me that.
Blue
What
Star.
is it? Lou looked it up. I'll find out. I'll be like,
All right.
what's-
Well, if you're good to go, we wrap up usually. Eric, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
But
We'll
we
come
wrap
back.
up
We'll come
with,
back to the restaurant because I'm curious.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
if you
working on
figure it out, chime in
working on
whenever
it.
you're ready. But Eric, if you had a top 3 films of all times, Eric Woodworth style.
So
Oh.
Eric has a whole wall of like DVDs and
Yeah, I'm a-
VHS. Bought a
I'm a
CRT
movie.
TV and a VCR.
Brian has
I
a
got a
laser.
lot of
He's
them.
got a laser disc collection.
Yeah, I'm a cinephile. I worked in a video store in '92.
How many movies have you touched?
Yeah, how many movies have you
Thousands.
You're
fucked?
cinephile.
Cinephile.
I've got thousands of
Okay.
Laserdisc DVDs.
I don't like where you're
VHS.
putting your finger on that DVD.
It is great though. 'cause
Right, that's right.
He does open it up
Only on
every
the
time
edges.
with that. He's like, I'm a cinephile. I worked in a video store in 1992.
Well, it's very important because people, apparently it ingrained shit into my brain.
It would be
or
more
something.
impressive if you still work there.
I'm a cinephile.
Well,
I
that would
have
be-
to. I have a court order. I have to stay 300 yards away from any film.
It does sound like a condition.
Film has to be 18 years older.
I mean, I usually gravitate towards directors in general because I could pick. I love John Carpenter, but I love They Live. It's one of my favorite movies for
Fucking
sure.
Roddy
but
Piper,
Wonderful.
man.
But I mean, The Thing is a pretty perfect movie from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It's just every beat in it is great. There's not a boring part. I love the practical effects. It's a 10 out of 10.
And it holds up. Like it's
It's pretty perfect. I mean, I don't love James Cameron, but his first movies are so awesome. I love Terminator 1, T2 are great, but Aliens is my other one of my absolute favorite movies. It's another movie you could put on and every beat in it is perfect. Everything that happens. It's also the best sequel that's ever been made is Aliens. There's not a better sequel that not only builds on the lore of a world that's already a fucking great movie. Like Alien is such a great movie by Ridley Scott that you take that and it delivers in every way possible, double from what the original is. I think Aliens is one of my other
I agree
absolute
with that,
favorites.
but I would say T2's up there as far as sequels go.
The thing is, I like Terminator 1 better than T2.
I do too.
Mostly because Edward Furlong is not, he's bad in it.
He
He's
is.
bad. And I
Insufferable.
don't like Arnold as a good guy in it. I love Robert Patrick.
Yeah. So you don't like
As,
the new one where he's like a house husband?
I saw Dark Fate with Justin Schlegel in the movie, and there was nobody else in there. It was like a matinee when it first came out, and it was already getting shit reviews. And we sat there at like a 2:00 screening, and the part where there's the bit where he's the Terminator. First of all, it starts out so good. It kills Edward Furlong. And I'm like, this is going to be fucking great. I don't know what people are talking about.
Right.
When they get to the second act and you find out what has the Terminator done since he completed his mission of
Got
killing John
married.
Connor? Oh, he's been selling blinds.
Yeah,
for the last- I'm like,
blinds,
what is this?
I thought it was drywall, but it's blinds.
I started openly laughing, and Justin is crying. He's like, I don't know what the fuck this movie is. So that's pretty terrible.
That's fucking wonderful.
So I go Aliens, I'll go The Thing, and then I don't know. I mean, where else do I go? Lately I've rewatched it recently, and it's another movie that from beginning to end is pretty fucking perfect. I think Mel Gibson as a director has made some fucking phenomenal movies.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love Apocalypto, but Braveheart from beginning to end, as far as every character in it, is so memorable and so good. Apart from just the main story arc of William Wallace going through all this, Edward Longshanks, the guy who was from, I can't remember that actor's name, but he was in The Prisoner and all that stuff. He is such a good bad guy and villain where he's just like, we'll just rape their wives and talk to prima nocta so there aren't just many Scots. And like every part of that movie, every character is great. And it's one of the few movies that when I first watched it, I openly wept at the end. I was like, no,
Right.
he's going to see his wife
Longshanks
again.
is great.
So,
Well, you remember, like we saw that shit opening
I
day,
saw that
and
many
he
times.
came out like that was the greatest
person.
movie I've ever seen in my life for 20 years.
Oh,
like
God.
Braveheart.
Dude, I think it's the best.
It's one of the greats. I mean,
I've challenged. Some people have said that I'm wrong on this, but I think it's the best, like, about 3 hour long movie that you can watch. I mean, people have said The Godfather. I don't think The Godfather's fine. I don't think it's better than Braveheart, and
Right.
maybe that's blasphemy. But
Right.
Casino, you know, some of these Scorsese films, they're good, but I get bored at certain parts. I can't rewatch Casino
Right.
over and over again and enjoy it. I can watch Braveheart again and pick out something else I like in it every single time. And it also has turbo violence in it
Right,
in between.
right.
Like, people's getting their fucking heads
yeah, brutal
in.
violence, the old
Yeah.
school violence. Also, going back to Aliens, it's like what an incredible trick, you know, that Cameron pulled there, or what an incredible thing he did, because it's like, first of all, the concept of the Space Marines, and
Yes.
to make them as like a team of, like, you know, you could relate everyone, you know, Vasquez, the Butchie.
Yeah.
It's sorry, you know what I mean by that.
Openly.
You're badass, Vasquez.
Right, the hulking badass
Yeah.
lady.
Well, I think I like more about Aliens than anything else is that, you know, in Alien, you get a Ripley who is, she's basically a final girl. She survives, right?
Right.
And in part 2, she's a badass, but it's not like a badass in a way that, like, a man is a badass. It's like, it's a badass from a point of, I'm a mother in this, like, Newt is
Yeah.
my child,
Right.
and nobody's gonna fuck with my kid,
Right.
so
Right.
I'm going to tape a machine gun to a flamethrower. And I think it plays on, like, that idea of, like, if a mother's child is in danger, they have the strength to lift a car up. That's such a stronger story that doesn't get used enough, that really, I think, explains, like, a feminine hero better than just making them, oh, they could do anything a boy can do. No, that's a very woman quality,
And
of
from the
protection.
standpoint of
So,
wisdom, she's
Yeah.
learned
Yeah,
from her
she's
experiences.
Yeah, and
It's
Ripley
like-
would choose egg.
Yeah.
She would
She
be laying
would
eggs
definitely
constantly.
lay eggs rather than bleed, 100%.
Dude, it's a shame.
I
that
ain't got time to read.
It's a shame that the Space Marines haven't been explored in, like, any other movies.
I'm telling you, man,
I mean,
think about
there's
that.
comics and stuff.
Bill Paxton, Michael Biehn,
Yeah.
young
Yes.
that lady from Terminator 2, and all the great James
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
played Vasquez.
Jeanette
She-
Goldstein.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jeanette Goldstein.
Which couldn't have fly today. You couldn't have Jeanette Goldstein play a Latino American.
No, right. That's right. She
Jewish
was
lady.
Latino.
She's
right.
literally wearing brown face in the movie,
Right.
and
Right.
you're just like, no, it's fine.
And she's like, hey,
You're a
man.
badass, Goldstein.
Right. That's wonderful.
but I love that. I
and
love
also
Aliens,
keep
man.
in mind, Aliens as a sequel, he came out swinging at 2 hour and 25-minute runtime
Yeah.
for an action movie
Yeah, back
in
then.
the 80s.
Yeah.
In 86
Yeah.
was a balls move, but there's not a minute wasted. Like,
No,
it pops
it's so good,
the whole
man.
time.
It's just a great movie. I mean, listen, in the scene in The Thing, I have a trouble thinking of what is a better, like, 5 minutes on screen as far as tension goes. If you look at The Thing, the blood testing scene
Oh
where
my
they're doing
God.
that, that's a fucking 10 out of 10 scene.
Right.
I don't know if that's better than the Alien scene where they have the little motion sector. He's like, they're 5 meters, they're right on top of us
and
right
then-
now, and they're
Yup.
like, boop, 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 and you look up in the ceiling. I don't know.
Michael Biehn lifts up that
Yup.
thing, and they're just fucking moving.
I don't
down
know which of
oh,
those
yeah.
two scenes is a better 5 minutes in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen the VR game?
Yes. Well, no. My
haven't
son
played it.
has a VR, and he told me about
What is it
I
on
have not seen
Oculus?
it.
Yeah.
Really?
Justin was playing it, and he
cool.
can't shut up about it. It took
Really?
him for so long to beat it. But like, there's limited ammunition. So you
So
had,
you can't just blast.
It counts down. It
Yeah.
probably counts down like those pulse rifles.
And I was
or
watching
whatever.
one of the things you have to do in the game. You have a pulse rifle, and you see that there's a terminal. It's covered in blood. Well, you have to use one of your hands to wipe the blood off of the screen so you can actually see what's happening. And you can hear rattling. You're like, I don't know, these motherfuckers are here somewhere. And as soon as you click the button, 2 aliens drop down like this.
God
Just
damn.
constant fucking trouble. So, yeah, I haven't played it yet. I am excited to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to- I'm
eventually.
gonna
Well, that's a
Yeah.
great 3, dude. I mean, good stuff. Now,
yeah.
Tommy, you're a return guest,
Yeah.
so try to vary it up if you can.
I don't
but we
remember what I
still-
said first.
Neither do
time.
I can tell you that.
Okay, but I will put probably my favorite movie of all time is Step Brothers.
Right.
Hell
I've probably
yeah.
seen Step
So
Brothers
good.
easily
Incredible.
in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Because back I used to put a DVD player in my cars,
Right.
and then would disable it. So disable the parking brake sensors
So you can watch
I
it
could
while
just
you're
watch
driving,
movies while
right.
I drive. And Step Brothers was one of those things that would just stay in, and I wouldn't even have to watch it. I could just, as I could hear it, it's playing in my head.
That
I'm like,
motherfucker
"Oh, yeah."
better not get in my face.
It's so brilliant.
It's one of the greats.
It's one of the most brilliant comedies ever written. I mean,
And
it's
then-
so stupid, but wonderful.
And then like even the outtakes. I just saw a thing of outtakes today or yesterday that I've never seen before.
Of a Step Brother, right.
And just of them breaking each other from just doing riffs.
It's
riffing.
what makes John C. Reilly so fucking great.
Yeah.
Because he can do something like Step Brothers, and then do something like Gangs of New York or anything, or fucking State of Grace. Like
State of
he can do
Grace,
straight
baby.
up fucking intense comedy
He
or
had-
fucking serious drama. It's amazing.
He had an outtake where it was John C. It's where they're sitting on the couch after they got beat up by those kids, and their dad's telling, "You're getting a job." Blah,
Tommy
blah.
Gardaki. or
Yeah,
whatever.
and he fucking as the dad's walking away, Will Ferrell's like, "You can suck my dick," right? And he turns around and goes, "What?" And then he was like, "I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean." And he was like, "How'd you mean it?" And John C. Reilly was like, "He meant like if you wanted to suck his dick, you could." It's just everybody broke. But then even the the DVD commentaries, which is something I don't think they really do that anymore.
They don't, because there's physical media is going away.
Yeah,
man. It's
but
like-
the commentary, it is Adam McKay, Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, and the guy who scored the movie, right? And the guy who scored the movie is just playing a background track, but it lets them break off into improvised songs during the thing. And the first time you see those balls, when he pulls
Right.
his balls out and wipes it on it, they actually say that, they cost us $40,000 to have those balls made. And he was like, could you imagine the guy, like, he's working night and day, he's missing his kids' little league games and stuff. Honey, I gotta make these balls. And they
for
broke.
Hollywood production.
And then when the first time you see the kids, like his children, he was like, John C. Reilly was like, can I just tell you? Those guys are little pieces of shit. Biggest divas. So yeah, I love that movie. Here's one that I just watched recently that has enthralled me so much that if you put it, I could watch it at any time. And that's Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. That's the only one I haven't
Have you seen the second
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I
Okay.
saw the second one.
Guardians 3 for me is a perfect Marvel movie.
Interesting.
And it's James Gunn who that man can create an audioscape with all these music.
I'm very excited.
Have
for
you seen
Superman.
Creature Commandos on HBO?
No.
He took
great
now
show.
he's in charge of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Right, I heard that.
He made an animated series that kicks off his canon for what is going to be in the DC
Nice.
universe.
It's great.
He says anything you see in this will be canon. Every episode has music that these episodes are just wrapped around. And it's songs, some songs you've never heard before. Other ones you're like, holy fucking shit, that's a good fucking song. What a great pull for this.
Right, right.
A lot of Eastern European
I didn't love all the song picks, but they're so well done that
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. G.I. Robot, easily a fan favorite.
Cheers for the cheers.
Cheers.
It's a
for the
show,
three
though.
cheers for
How
the
many?
Tin
It's a
Man.
show.
Yeah,
How
like
many
8
episodes?
episodes.
8 episodes.
8
Yeah.
episodes.
Oh, like
you
a half hour long.
Are
Yeah.
you stoked for the Superman?
I am. I want to
I
see.
feel
what,
like
that-
it's
I
got
think
a
it looks
shot.
great.
I want
Yeah.
to see what James Gunn is
Yeah.
going to do with
That's
this.
what
I
I'm
like that he
saying.
I wanna
made
see what
Super.
he's-
It looks like he's making Superman actually Superman
Yeah.
again instead of just Batman with Superman powers.
Right.
He's
Right.
like a beacon of hope for
Right.
the helpless, and that's what Superman should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I
I'm
agree.
excited about it.
Yeah, Christopher
Yeah.
Reeve's Superman was my, we grew up with it. We loved it. I liked Cavill as Superman.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
didn't- yeah,
I like
I
Cavill.
thought he was a good
I think Nicholas
Superman.
Holt's going to be a good Lex Luthor too.
I
Yeah.
did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gunn said that he's coming in swinging, like where it's like it's not an origin story.
No, yeah.
It's coming in right
What's like
in
with-
the middle of the
Well,
shit.
I heard that it's
like-
supposed to be based more off of All-Star Superman, if you've ever read that run. But
No.
the premise of All-Star Superman is like in the very first issue of it is you learn that Superman knows that he is dying. He's apparently got sun poisoning. He's basically has Superman cancer because even though the sun makes him ultra powerful, he gets skin cancer.
Yeah, he's
whatever.
like all of us.
So he's dying apparently, and the other people don't know. And then Lois finds out, and then she's like, "Why don't you just live your life?" And the drama that ensues with
gotcha.
like a Superman who knows he's dying and on the way out.
And I also like that they're dropping us into a world where other heroes are already established
that
and
too,
exist.
right.
It's not like it's not like the formula that they did for the Avengers,
Right.
where
Right.
okay, here's a movie that gets you to know this guy, here's a movie to get you to
Right.
know this guy, and then they bring it all together.
Well, I
He's
think
already
what-
saying like, look, you're not idiots. Here's
Right.
Superman.
I think what James Gunn is going to do, though, is like kind of the more modern way of telling it. Instead of having an origin movie,
Right.
you get bits of their background that is relevant
Right.
to this story.
Right,
Right.
it helps
Everybody
shape the
knows his
story.
parents. They know everything about
Sure.
him. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to keep going back to origin stories.
All right, so Guardians 3, is that on Disney or is it?
Yeah, it's up on
Oh,
Disney.
shit.
yeah,
Okay.
dude.
Well, what the
It
fuck am
came
I
out-
waiting
I mean,
on?
No, it's
Guardians 3 came out like 3-4 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, and HBO Max for Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
I have both of them.
But Guardians 3,
3 years
top to
ago.
bottom.
Guardians 3.
I thought it was
beautiful.
last
Hey,
year.
you know what? Take that tea I gave you.
I know.
And you watch Guardians 3.
I can't wait. Yeah.
yeah.
I bet you color wise, it's got to be
Oh, my
spectacular. Because that's the
God.
thing is, even in 1 and 2, the colors, the gun,
Oh, yeah.
the rich colors.
It just pops so much.
Yeah,
And then I'm gonna say
2023.
for third movie.
1 year. I mean, it's 2025, but it's only been a couple days. So. All right, go.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Oh, now which one's that? So there's Homecoming was
yeah.
the first one. No Way Home is the second, or is that Far From? Which
Far
one's
From
Far
From
Home
Home
was the
is
third
two.
one.
No
right?
Way Home.
No
is
Way
third.
Home.
No Way Home was
The
the, one that
many
had
Spider-Man.
that had
Yeah, yeah.
Sandman.
I
and-
loved
and
that, too.
Alfred
That was
Molina.
so fun,
Doc,
dude.
the bridge scene where they reintroduced Doc Ock.
Yeah, that
Fucking
was fun,
best.
yeah.
Oh, God, that was so cool.
And how about Andrew Garfield? Don't you love that guy?
I do.
mean,
wish
I don't.
That's what
like,
I wanted. What they needed, and they could have done with the Sony Spider-Verse.
Right.
Is bring in and say that Andrew Garfield is the Spider-Man of this universe.
Right. Why didn't they?
Because they're fucking idiots.
Right,
They think I saw
And Sony's never giving it up because they still make money hand over
no,
fist with
they've
their
said
video games.
they said we're done doing Spider-Man movies.
for now, but they're not giving up the IP.
Like, have you seen Craven?
no, but I
Did
want
you
to. I heard
see
it's so.
Craven?
I watched a bootleg of Craven.
I heard
Did
it's
you
so
like
bad
it?
that
I heard it's terrible.
It is dog shit.
Really?
Absolute dog shit.
I heard
it
is-
worse
I
than-
heard if you literally watch the trailer, that's like literally the fights. All the fight scenes are in the trailer.
I mean,
and
it's not
terrible.
Madam Web bad,
Right.
But it is. There's one scene. There's a scene where he's talking to another character. It's a 2-camera scene, right? He's talking. It cuts to the other character. It is just a still frame image that they made blink and had the mouth move to.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Terrence and Phillip.
Yes.
Wow.
Hey, Craven! Don't kill that guy, buddy.
The Canadian government has apologized for Brian Adams on several occasions.
Don't you call me buddy, guy. Don't you call me guy, buddy.
Which, by the way, speaking of bad ones, how bad is this new Captain America gonna be?
Well,
Do you know the guy?
The Red Hulk.
Well,
Well,
they
so-
added a whole character in
yeah,
it that
the
didn't
Charles
exist.
Esposito character
Yeah.
was added after the whole movie was filmed.
Yes,
That's
he's
not
just-
a good sign.
That's
No.
not. Can't
Yeah,
be
that's
good.
not a good
that
sign.
Can't be good.
No, yeah, who watched that and was like, I think we need another character. An
Yeah.
entire new thread.
I mean, this is not.
I'm still
telling
going to
good
see it, but
things.
it
Yeah.
comes out Valentine's Day. We have murder mysteries that whole weekend.
Yeah.
The tradition is that Marvel movies we see on the Saturday they come out on mushrooms.
Right.
And I can't do that this year because we have. Well, I could. But
I would say you could if you weren't a wussy.
I could.
You know what I watched Thursday night that I hadn't seen in a long time that holds up is the original Red Dawn.
Hell yeah.
Love
Oh,
Red
yeah,
Dawn.
yeah.
God,
sounds
it's
great
been a
movie.
while since I've
John
seen it,
Milius.
man. That movie is kick-ass from
It
start
is a
to
great
finish.
movie. And star-studded. It's like the
I
outside.
did tear up at the end, too.
Yeah. There's
I really
movies
did.
that have no sense being as good as they are. They should be bad movies. Red Dawn's one of them.
Definitely.
A lot of Patrick Swayze movies. Roadhouse You put it on anytime.
Sway's dog,
I'll
baby.
I'll eat it up.
Have
every
you
second
watched
of
it with the commentary with Kevin Smith?
No.
There's a
No, because they never did one, so he did one.
Well, so they.
Why was Kevin Smith?
So
right,
listen,
that's what I'm saying. They didn't do it.
Listen.
There was no commentary, so he made one, right?
No, so a couple years back, a Roadhouse release happened on Blu-ray, and it was 2 commentary tracks. One was Rowdy Harrington, the director, and the other said Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier, his writing partner. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I bought the damn thing, and you put it in, and he's like, I know you're all wondering, why is Scott Mosier and Kevin Smith commentating on Roadhouse? And basically, they're uber fans of Roadhouse, and they asked Rowdy Harrington if they could do a commentary track. But it is fucking gold.
I would watch that.
Oh,
All
my
right.
God, it's
I'm sold.
wonderful.
Check it out.
And the one with Rowdy Harrington, the director, who also directed... Do you know what else Rowdy Harrington directed?
No.
He was a bouncer, which is why he made Roadhouse. But the only other movie that I know that he made...
Over the Top?
No, but that's a good guess.
a good guess.
The only other movie that I know was him directed was Gladiator with Cuba Gooding.
The boxing,
with
not
Tommy
Ridley.
Riley.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
Brian Dehaney,
Yeah.
like from the early 90s. It
Yeah.
was like the guy that played Tommy Riley.
Yeah.
Was,
I love
that's
that movie
Rowdy
when he's
Harrington.
boxing him and Dehaney just keeps
Yeah,
putting
right.
his
The
forehead
top
down.
of the forehead hit the bare knuckle
Yeah.
fight movie called Gladiator.
movie.
So he made Roadhouse. His second movie was Gladiator.
That's
with-
2 great movies.
And they were both
I mean, if
fucking
that's
great.
all he ever did, that's
Right.
fantastic in my
But
book.
I'd retire.
if you're a Roadhouse cat, seek that out.
Now,
I'll
did you
lend
see?
it to you.
Did you
because
see
it's dynamite.
the new one? Did
I
you
loved
see
it.
I did.
I love
Yeah.
the new
I'm
Roadhouse.
fine with it. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's great.
Hey,
Yeah.
it is so. First of all, it's exactly in the same vein
Sure.
of the original Roadhouse,
Right.
where they ask you to just like, hey, leave reason behind.
Right,
I
right.
want you to do that. And Conor McGregor.
McGregor.
But they were
stands around.
basically like Connor.
ta-ta,
Just be
ta-ta.
your. But they were like, be yourself.
Oh,
we do
yeah.
this,
Just be Connor McGregor in the movie.
What is he? A giant leprechaun? Does he just walk? Literally walks like they have to.
Yeah, the first scene, he's fucking in the first scene that you see him. He
Yep.
walks around like this, and I swear, I was like, I think they would take a take, and they were like, "Kind of was great. Here, use that magic dust you used before, and maybe do 2 this time, and let's wind that back." He is just coked out of his
Oh my
mind,
God,
just
dude.
like, yeah, it was good.
His
like
name
that.
was Knox or
Yeah,
some
dude,
shit, right?
So
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. I love the new Roadhouse. I've watched it twice.
Right.
Yeah, and Gyllenhaal. I mean, how about Gyllenhaal
Yeah,
as an
Gyllenhaal.
action
Yeah,
star?
Damn,
you
good
know?
old Donnie
I got a
Darko.
plan tonight. I'm gonna watch 3 movies tonight.
What are the 3?
Well, I think I'm going to watch Dungeons and Dragons.
You haven't
I
seen-
think-
have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it either.
good.
But
It's
not
really
because I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just haven't. And I think I'm going to watch the new Roadhouse. And Garrett wants me to watch the new Kong movie, new Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh yeah, nice.
If I could go put out one other thing
Yeah, go
in
ahead.
my list that I've been sitting here and really, if I have to have a 4th movie. Is one of my favorite ones. Is I love the fucking movie Mandy by Panos Cosmatos.
Oh, So that's the
Mandy's-
Nicolas Cage one, right?
Yeah,
I
Nicolas
haven't seen it. My
Cage.
son
Is that
loves
new?
that movie. It's like
2017,
Yeah.
2016
Newish-
it came
newish
out.
Nicolas Cage.
It's
It's a
fucking
slow
intense.
burn, but once it gets burning, it's an adrenaline.
and it's a
fucking
little
guy.
girl or some shit,
No.
right?
It's
It's a guy and his
it's-
wife that live
it's a
out in the fucking
Oh wait, man.
woods
Yeah.
of Washington. like,
Yeah,
right?
and it's a
Northwest.
simple revenge movie. That's all it is. But it is, you get an untamed full Nicolas Cage
I love that.
in it, where they just give him carte blanche in multiple scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and it is badass. And I think I just like that director Panos. He's done another movie called Beyond the Black Rainbow, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's called. That was his first movie. He's done this, and he doesn't have a third movie. He does have a thing that he directed for Guillermo del Toro's anthology series, which is also really good. But I like this director a lot. He does this thing where he really doesn't do a lot of reshoots. He just takes it and he's like, I don't want to be burdened down by the tyranny of perfection. So whatever happens, he's like, it's like nothing's ever going to be perfect. So what happens and what my actors do, that's what it is. Sometimes I'll do like a reshoot because I wanted something a little bit different, but most of the time what you see is what you get. And
Wow.
I just love
Yeah,
that
that's a
style.
wild style.
And he very much films in like a 1970s style. He doesn't use a lot of
That's
CGI
another one.
effects.
That's
and
another one
stuff.
good for T. That's another good T
Oh
movie.
yeah,
Mandy.
It's really a good
Yeah,
one.
Mandy.
Two
'cause-
words.
yeah.
Two words. Chainsaw fight.
Yeah, there is a chainsaw fight.
Wow.
Two guys with chainsaws. Cling, cling, cling.
Another.
Oh, I've seen that.
Well, let me
Another
ask you,
word.
what's the Nicolas
Two more
Cage
words.
movie?
Space cocaine.
Incredible. What's the Nicolas Cage movie with the little girl that's like a zombie? Or wait, no, you know what? It's a damn Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh, it's his daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
She's
was
a
it was her
zombie?
name.
Yeah.
It's like it was her name.
Stay away from my daughter.
But yeah, it was a weird movie. It was like a turn for him, maybe during the pandemic or right before. But okay, yeah. Well, all right. So you were going to say one more. Did you?
That was it. It's Mandy.
Terminate
Mandy
her.
I put in there.
Nice.
Terminate her.
All right. Well, look. Do you guys got
Yeah.
anything? Like, tell the people at home where they can find your stuff.
Yeah.
Just follow.
When's this coming? Do you know when this is coming out?
February 30th.
Okay.
Well, you just missed us at the Auto Bar.
Autobar, you missed that show, but it was
we'll put it
sold
on our
out
calendar.
great.
Okay, yeah.
When are you going to be at the Auto Bar?
21st of February.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
a
put
big
it on the
show.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, it's
we'll
gonna
put
be-
it on our
It's
calendar
going
and
to be
everything.
us, Daphne London, Grief Cat, Lucas Craig. We're calling it Daphne and the Bussi Cats.
All musical
Nice.
comedy show downstairs at the Auto Bar, historic punk rock bar down there in good old Balmer, Charm City. So
Yeah.
come out to that. And if you're listening to this, it means you either saw it or you didn't. So
Yeah.
that's good.
And also
Otherwise-
check out Laugh Finder.
Yeah, the D&D podcast.
Yeah, Laugh Finder. It's on all major podcast things.
But let's not forget, you can always find all things Bussi at home of the Bionic Universal Super Soldiers Incorporated.com or hotbussy.com.
Yeah.
You can go to.
That's probably right.
And Daphne, you linked me up with Daphne. We're gonna have her come in soon. We
Hell
just
yeah.
haven't
Hell
gotten
yeah.
a date yet because she's another musical comedian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
musical
I
act.
love that.
Yeah, but
Solo though. Do you guys? I mean, you guys are on the same bill a lot together. Does
But
she
that's
get up and do things
intentional.
with you at all?
We've kicked that idea around. We've written a song that called Swipe Right,
Right.
which is her going through profiles of men on Tinder,
Right.
and we each have verses of our Tinder verse.
Yeah.
We did have another idea that it's Daphne had this great idea where she wrote. You guys are familiar with the Dolly Parton song Jolene, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
she wrote a song from the perspective of Jolene to the same tune, where it's like, I don't even really want your man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Like he slid in my DMs, and then
That's
I was
a
like,
great idea.
I was like, you should let us write a verse called, I'm Steve, I'm Steve, I'm Steve, I'm Steve. I play video games and I never leave the house.
Her feet, her feet, her feet, her feet.
I jerked off to
great
her
idea.
feet just once or twice.
I want to suck them, want them in my mouth.
That's a great concept.
That is a great
Yeah.
concept.
That's good shit.
So check that out at future Bussi shows to come.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, boys. Well, this has been magical.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Been a
appreciate
bla-
yeah.
yeah, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
thanks.
This
Eric,
was
I
great.
appreciate meeting you, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, pleasure's
Tommy,
all
always
mine.
always a fun time. All right, stay sane, Baltimore. We're out.
Awesome.
All right, we are the Bionic. That's the Bionic part. Universal. We're super soldiers?
We're the Bionic Universal Super Soldiers Incorporated, a.k.a. Bussi.
Bussi.
And we're here to rock your fucking faces tonight.
Yeah.
And sing some dirty fucking tunes. I'm Tommy Sinbazo.
And I'm the quiet one.
No.
I'm more humble.
Have to introduce
I'm the
yourself.
most humblest one in the group. I don't think names are necessary. No, I'm Erik Woodworth, and it's great to be here with you. We're in a room with no one right now, but there's people in a control booth that we hope laugh at this.
There's a control living room.
Yeah, there's a control. The control is in the other room. Yeah. Can comedians be funny without the validation of laughter?
If there weren't instruments down here, I'd be concerned this house was used for human trafficking.
100%. When he clicked on the monitor earlier, and it was just like, put on your clothes now.
I'm like, why do you have a piss cam? Why?
There is a piss cam in the corner, but actually, that makes me feel more comfortable.
It makes me feel more at home.
But yeah, we're Bussi, and we're here to play a couple tunes for you guys, so I hope you enjoy it.
Do any of you guys, anybody out there have a will to live? No, okay. All right. Eric, do you have a will?
I don't. I should have a will because I got a pair of fuck trophies back home, and
Nice.
it's
He also calls them his little cum goblins.
it is true. I turned a couple cream pies into cutie pies. What can I say? It's a
Stay
real fun
for
time.
that Netflix series. Cream pies to cutie pies.
But yeah, it's cool. I got two little kids, and I should have a will, but legal expenses being what they are, I just came up with a song. So I wrote this song as case of my untimely demise.
I always love when you say untimely, like there's not a camera pointed at you. You look like you died any minute.
They told me this isn't the one this is the skinny camera.
Yeah. Guys, just remember the camera adds 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And then the real world.
To each part of my face.
Every camera is adding 10 pounds.
So I've had ones that I've added 80 pounds. See? That's good, though.
Don't worry. They're going to thin you out in post.
Whew, that's the story of my life, man. Hey, I'll be skinny when I'm dead. I'll be skinny when I'm dead. Anyway, here's a little tune for my last will and testament. Oh, my child, when I go, I hope to leave you with the knowledge you need to know. Oh, my child, my little boo, when I pass along the way, I need one thing from you. Erase my search history, yeah, don't let the family see the dark, dark place inside of me now. Erase my search history, just hit delete, then I can rest in peace. Oh, my child, oh, one more thing. Go into my documents and erase one thing. There's a file called Conference Notes 2015. Don't open it or anything, just drag it in the trash for me. Erase my search history, yeah, don't let the family see the dark, dark place inside of me now. Erase my search history, just hit delete, then I can rest in peace. Oh, my child, oh, one last thing. Go into my bedroom and find the key to the shed. There's a crate sitting in the back. The guy in the leather suit hasn't eaten for days. He may need a snack. Erase my search history. Yeah, don't let the family see the dark, dark place inside of me now. Erase my search history. Just hit delete. Then I can rest in peace.
That's usually the part where women are throwing their panties on stage.
Ooh, I'm drowning in puss right now.
Oh, there's so much. You have to beat the pussy off with a stick, which is how you treat pussy, right? You just beat it with the pussy stick.
Every time I do it, I beat my stick. Anyway, yeah, that's a good song. So when I die, my kids will listen to that and hopefully, do the right thing, take all of my hard drives, put them into a microwave, run it for 10 minutes, and then, I won't shame the family.
I always like how you say that your children are proof that you had sex with your wife twice.
Yeah, you're proof.
When that's not true. It just means that your wife has had sex twice. Yeah. And that's why your youngest daughter has a mustache and a robot arm.
Are you saying Tyrese Woodworth isn't mine? What? I don't believe it. I mean, she is.
You mean my little Dr. Eggman cosplayer isn't my daughter?
She is strangely mechanically sound. Interesting.
Our next song is about a good deed gone wrong. Eric, have you ever done a good deed?
Never
Bitch
in my
the
life.
ass? No.
No, yeah, I've tried to help some people out, and you think you're helping them, and then the next thing you know, you're in way over your head. It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Well, as comedians, we're storytellers, and this next song is a 100% true story that happened to me. But when I tried telling it on stage, people wouldn't laugh. They just felt bad for me. So instead, we turned it into an Irish drinking song.
Yay! Who likes drinking? The internet does.
Yeah, so go get a drink right now. Get your boba tea or your whiskeys or whatever. And when I say the words 3 sheets past tipsy, that's your cue to drink.
Got it?
I have to get out Lucille.
Uh-oh. Tommy is quite the instrument player himself.
Yeah, I let Eric carry the light work.
I'll just play this I'll play this little string tuner thing or whatever, my uke over here, while this guy is the hard work over here.
All right, so now here we go. And remember, 100% true story. One night at the bar, last call rolled around. I saw a familiar face through the dwindling crowd. He said, man, it's good to see you. Your help I implore. Can you get my friend here back to her front door? Now the girl on his arm was drunker than hell. She flashed me a smile, she was toothless as well. Said her name was Gypsy, and then I smelled her breath. There was visible stink lines, and so we just left.
Her breath smelled like fucking shit, yeah. The kiss of the gypsy, not witty nor pretty. Friend asked not help with her plight. The kiss of the gypsy, she was 3 sheets past tipsy, and the taste of her haunts me at night. The ride home was long, the conversation was dry. The smell coming off her brought a tear to my eye. She smelled like deviled eggs, she had stubble on her legs, and a mustache that make old Tom Selleck beg. We got to her house, opened the door at her side. I said, have a good night, she said, thanks for the ride. Then she grabbed my head and gave a tug like a boat, and to my surprise, she shoved her tongue down my throat. Oh, fucking God, why? The kiss of the gypsy, not witty nor pretty. Friend asked for help with her plight. The kiss of the gypsy, she was 3 sheets past tipsy, but the taste of her haunts me at night. Got her out of my car and the tires burned rubber. I chewed a ton of gum to remove the flavor of her. Raced to my bed, in my pillow I cried, hoping that sleep would calm my mind. I woke to a ring, the phone by my bed. The caller ID said it was my old pal Fred. I told her that she kissed me and that she went too far. And he said, oh, dude, really? She was getting thrown out because she got caught blowing a bunch of dudes at the bar. That's a lot of dicks, yeah. The kiss of the gypsy, not witty nor pretty. Friend asked for help with her plight. The kiss of the gypsy, she was 3 sheets past tipsy, and the taste of her haunts me at night. Now, guys, this is a little epilogue to that story, or a prologue. I'm not an English major. Now, this woman, I drove her home from D.C. to Baltimore because she was getting kicked out because she got caught blowing a bunch of dudes. Bunches! That's what bananas come in little crunchy nut clusters. And now, the goodness of my heart, I drove this woman all the way home, hour 45 minutes, to a very seedy part of Baltimore. And all I got was a kiss goodnight. The kiss of the gypsy, not witty nor pretty. Friend asked for help with her plight. The kiss of the gypsy, she was 3 sheets past tipsy, and the taste of her haunts me at night. All right, okay. Oh, yeah, that's kiss the true story. 100% true story. 100%
Yeah.
true. Can't make that up. I was like, oh, refreshment. Here, pour this 100-degree liquid down
Yeah,
your
that's
throat.
whenever there's a marathon, I set up a hot tea stand to give to all the marathon runners.
All right. How do we set this one up, Thomas?
This goes out to the dads. Make some noise if you have a dad. Some people aren't wooing. Make some noise if you're part cum and part egg. Woo! Yeah. Well, this goes out to all the dads out there.
Did I ever tell you the story? I don't mean to break up this intro. But
Yeah.
Do you know that my name is Eric and my middle name is Tristan? Do you know why my name's Eric Tristan?
Because your dad liked Triscuits but wanted to make it gayer.
It's because the biggest movie in the world when I was born was E.T. And I realized years later that there's a 99% chance that my parents watched the movie E.T. and got so horny that they fucked during it, and I was conceived probably while they were watching.
Where's the Tristan come from? Does your dad think the E.T.'s name is Eric Tristan?
Yeah, they
Is
thought
that
it
what
was E.T. the Eric Tristan.
Where's Tristan and E.T.?
Huh? No, it's just E.T. is Eric and then Tristan. E.T.
Oh,
the
so-
initials. So my initials are E.T. because the biggest movie of the time was E.T. And my parents saw that and they were like, we gotta fuck.
Yeah. Well, I was almost Douglas Thomas.
Okay.
My thing, because my dad watched Deep Throat. Going by your logic, that's where names come from.
Listen, I'm just telling you, that's the story I was told.
Oh, okay. You know what story I was told?
What's that?
My sister and I are 14 months apart to the day, right? I'm September 14th. She's November 14th of the following year. My mom told me that my sister was conceived the first night that I slept through the night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they used whiskey. They put whiskey on my gums. So they got me drunk so that they could fuck.
That's still how I operate. The
Hey,
second you fall asleep, I'm fucking right
guess
next
what?
to you.
Guess what? I faked sleeping. I watched everything.
I saw everything you did.
My first words were, give it one stroke for me.
Yeah, take it out once for me, Dad, and put it back in and say, this one's for Thomas Douglas.
This one's for Deep Throat.
All right, I like that. Anyway, this one's for all the dads out there.
If you see me looking over here, it's because I have to read the words. Dad works hard, he works a 9 to 5. He works his fingers to the bone just to keep you alive. There's just one day to show him love. Don't you give him a tie or macaroni. It's Father's Day down at the glory hole. You can get your knob slobbed, you can smoke some pole. Shoulder to shoulder, father and son. Just remember to knock before you come. Father's Day at the glory hole. Well, you know hole 3 is his favorite one. So you call ahead, you get a reservation. His number gets called, he takes possession. He don't mind the stubble on what he assumes is a check. The sucking and slurping, the sound is insane. His eyes roll back from this magnificent brain. And when he's done, he whispers that was sublime. He is back. I'll see you next time. Father's Day at the glory hole. He buckles his belt, comes to the room where you wait. You ask,
How was it, Dad?
he says, man, it was great. With pride in his eyes, he says, thank you, son. And you say,
I gotta go, Dad. Gotta shift it whole.
whoa. Gonna bring it on down for everybody. Sing along if you know the words or if you love your dad enough to get his dick sucked by a stranger. Father's Day down at the glory hole. You can get your knob slobbed, you can smoke some bowl. Stand shoulder to shoulder, father and son. Just remember to knock before you come. Father's Day at the glory hole. Thank you, Dad, for busting in my mom.
Woo! That was it for yeah. So, guys.
Hi, guys. We're back. Thanks for watching our ad for Bussi brand condoms. The only condoms meant for a man's asshole.
It's made for a man, but strong enough for a woman.
Made for a man, strong enough for an asshole. The only condom you can eat when you're done.
Ooh, forbidden freeze pops.
It's made of fruit leather. Bussi brand cream-filled edible condoms. You supply the cream.
Oh, man, that's recycling at its finest.
And Bussi brand flammable sex lube. Don't go too fast.
It just ignites when you go too fast.
Friction based.
It's lighter fluid and lube. Okay.
Yeah, we have to call it lubrikish.
All right, I like this. I like it. We had the other one that was the Bussi candle. Remember that? The consented candle.
Yes, meant only for consensual sex.
Yes, you both of you light it, and that implies that you've given consent at that point. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what she says.
If it goes out, you better stop.
Yeah, if it stops, you blow the candle out.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sex is done.
Make a wish, and that wish better be, I don't want to be fucking anymore.
Anyway, the Bussi consented candle. Anyway, this is a song, fellas. We've all been there where maybe we've compromised our morals a bit, maybe some of the things that we believe in, so that you get some
Get with a girl.
Get some hot snaps.
Yeah, if you're like, oh yeah, crystals totally do that.
Yeah, I'll be like, fuck yeah, crystals cure cancer, of course. My dad just didn't use them, and that's the only reason he's
My dad
dead.
didn't push that yoni egg up far enough.
Of course, Kegels help with that. Yes,
Yeah,
I know that.
Hey, Kegels. Hey, don't fucking knock Kegels.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Unless you've had your dick milked like a toothpaste tube.
Just pops.
Oh,
I mean, that doesn't sound good. She's just twisting you up inside, like rolling you from the bottom.
from the middle. Yeah.
All right, that sounds horrible, but I'll believe you. Anyway, this is a song we write for all the ladies out there that
to try, guys, who out there has ever had now guys, we all know crazy pussy is the best.
easily
Easily,
the best.
right? But it's not true for women. Women don't you don't want a crazy guy's dick.
Yeah, crazy dick is never that good.
No,
right?
no. Yeah.
It comes with also the crazy eyes and the ability to maim,
Yeah,
usually.
and a restraining order.
Yeah, and the restraining order, all that. It's a mess.
Yeah.
But
But
this one-
this song goes out to the craziest pussy we know, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Girl, I think about you every single day.
The way you laugh and smile, and the way we play.
You got some strange ideas, but I wanna be your man.
So let me tell you how I feel in terms
You'll understand. Hey, you're worth the time. You're so beautiful and fine. And this love is true. So MK Ultra into you. So MK Ultra into you. I was made for you, and you were made for me.
Just like the laboratory that made COVID-19.
I'd say let's just get married, but maybe it's too soon.
realer than the moon landing. But who believes in the moon?
Your love has got me high,
Like those chemtrails in the sky.
and this love is true.
So MK Ultra into you.
So MK Ultra into you. I never saw you coming, like the Nolan Kennedy. Just like the reason the frogs are gay, I love you chemically.
Well, I'd rather die from 5G than ever be apart. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams the way you melt my heart.
You know the lizard people wanna own our turf.
But you're the prettiest thing I've seen on this flat earth.
I know I said I loved you, but maybe I forget.
I'm pretty sure that I said it. It wasn't
Mandela effect. We can't move slow. We gotta stop the NWO. And this love is true. So MK Ultra into you. So MK Ultra into you. So MK Ultra.
So MK Ultra.
So MK Ultra into you.
Guys, our next song, who out there knows who Bobby Boris Pickett is?
Anybody?
Any snare drum?
That cymbal guy?
Animal
Do you know
plus-
it? That's- People in the booth, do you know who Bobby Boris Pickett is? Say it loud.
What? Of course you do. 100% you do. Because Bobby Boris Pickett wrote the Monster Mash.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
They get
And
it
you know,
now.
he had other songs. Bobby Boris Pickett had full albums, other albums. Can you imagine that? You go to see Bobby Boris Pickett in concert and he's like, this one's off my new album. Like, boo! Play the Monster Mash, you Frankenstein piece of shit.
You don't understand. My income dries up after October. Anyway, here's this one called the Easter Jam.
He didn't even do covers. It wasn't like he was like, certified freak, 7 days a week. Spooky ass pussy, man. That pull-up game weak.
Spooky ass pussy is a good one.
It is.
I like that.
I'm sure plenty of gynecologists have had spooky, like, oh, the spooky pussy ladies here. Her pussy's haunted by the ghosts of Chinese rail workers.
Oh, goddamn. My pussy built this railroad.
He opens her legs and it's like, and bats are like,
Spooky pussy.
yeah. The mystery machine gang comes out. They're like, Jinkies, we've been there for a while.
Cheekies, it smells like a fish market in here.
I'm hungry for fish stick scoop.
Ruh-roh. We're in this dead girl's pussy shake.
Rusty was real rinky.
Oh, fuck. Oh, so this is our only cover song that we
Yeah,
have.
it's our only
technically.
cover,
Yeah.
unless you notice that search history is just glycerine.
You shut up and stop telling them how we make the sausage.
But this song, it's never really written out. It is, I gotta riff it a little bit. So the premise for this is that I'm just going to call this the Sandy Lounge Studios.
The Sandy Lounge Studios?
Yeah, Sandy Lounge Studio. Okay. So the premise for this song is that right now you're watching Bobby Boris Pickett, a live stream of him performing at the Sandy Lounge Studios.
Yeah.
And in the back, he notices that his ex-girlfriend is here.
Yeah, that
with,
slut.
With the man that she left him with.
What a whore.
Yeah, she's a bad lady. You have to understand this as a bad lady, real bad dudes. Is that the right key?
Yeah. I remember it now.
I was in Sanity Lounge Studio late one night, when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. From the back, my ex-girlfriend lies with visible stink lines coming from between her thighs.
Her pussy's trash.
Her pussy's filled with trash.
It's filled with trash.
It's filled with garbage bags.
It's filled with trash.
And SpaghettiO cans.
That pussy's trash.
But they were Aldi brand.
Oh, pussy's trash. Oh, pussy's trash. Oh, pussy's trash. Oh.
As they got up to walk out the door, my heart had screamed, I wanted no more. And as the new man passed me, he asked me this. He said, whatever happened to her tight little slit?
It's filled with trash.
Her pussy's filled with trash.
It's filled with trash.
And smelly dog shit bags.
It's filled with trash.
And SpaghettiO cans.
It's filled with trash.
But they were Ninja Turtle brand.
Oh, pussy's trash. Oh, pussy's trash. Oh, the pussy's trash. Oh. Oh.
All right, that's all.
go.
Legally, that's all we can do of that song.
That's it.
Yeah, or else Weird Al will sue us because that was his premise.
We got a cease and desist letter. Otherwise, the estate of BBP will rain down on you like a million monster mashes.
Weird Al was going to do it, but it's going to be more food-based, like, her pussy's ham. Her pussy's filled with ham. And her asshole's spam.
Remember we did the ragtime one of the thing?
Oh, yeah. Keep on going. Well, it's Father's Day down at the glory hole. You can get your knife slab, you can smoke some coal. Say shoulder to shoulder, father and son. Just remember to knock before you go. Nice. All right, so guys, you ever let a girl come between you and your buddy? Anybody out there? Animal, stuffed animal?
Yeah, no. That guy's.
Gorilla lamp?
Yep. No? It's crowd work bits are hard to do right now.
With inanimate objects.
It's really hard to
I
do.
feel like in Pee Wee Herman before the Playhouse became magical.
Yeah. It's just inanimate objects. You're just talking to things in there. What do you think about it, pretty pussy pants?
What do you think about an adult film movie projector?
But yeah, I mean, believe it or not, this band almost didn't happen. Bussi almost didn't exist.
Could you imagine your lives?
Could you imagine the unrich lives y'all would be living without hits like Her Pussy's Trash right now?
I mean, basically, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is basically the story of Bussi.
That is true. That is true.
God gave Bussi rock to you.
Bus in a row. But yeah, we believe it or not, Tommy and I at one time let a woman come in between us.
And not in the fun way.
Yeah.
Not fun. To be honest, no woman has ever come because of us.
Yeah, that's not never even gotten close.
No.
I think a few have faked it though, you know.
Well, I've definitely had them fake it.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
they weren't
though.
good
Don't
at
ever
improv.
stop. All the other ones, people who are faking it.
They were
Never
improv
stop.
students, and they kept yes-anding. Like, oh, I'm coming, and I'm a doctor.
Oh. And in my Monopoly game, I'm about to bust.
Like, this is a little unbelievable, lady.
Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 pussy holes.
Okay, I need a word to scream as I'm about to come. Word? Laundromat. A laundromat!
That's the safe word. But no, you know, we fought over a girl, and oh my God, Thomas, did you notice?
You mean her there watching right now?
That chick right there. Oh my God.
The one in the internet. Oh, man, you look oh my God. Yeah, man.
Her breasts are as big as cymbals.
It's Cymbal Shepherd.
Cymbal Shepherd. Is that your name? What?
Oh man, what? what's your name, ma'am? Cymbal? Oh, her name was Tom Tom. It was so close.
Oh, so there
so
was
close.
close.
But ma'am, can we sing you this song? Person watching at home, can we?
Yeah.
Ma'am, every woman watching, this song goes out to you.
This is to you.
Now I want everyone to know this isn't about the woman watching. This is about a very specific woman.
Yes.
That she just happens to look exactly like.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
The no pressure of not having an audience, though, my adrenaline doesn't kick in. And like, you better remember. Baby girl, I wanna be your man. Walk around and hold your hand.
He ain't the one for you. I treat you better too. You're the only woman I adore.
I'd always treat you right.
Treat you right.
Spoon you late at night.
Big spoon.
You are the light of my life.
Hear that cymbal? Just a normal fucking song. So just let your guard down.
Girl, I love it when we kiss. The way the drool glistens off your nail.
I'd rub your prosthetic thigh, try to catch your lazy eye, get a whiff of your UTI.
I kiss the trach on your neck.
Your neck.
I grab the brace on your back.
Your back.
Throw you on the bed and make it crack. Girl, you know you're my special girl.
Girl, I think you're fine. You're my bride of Frankenstein.
You're my special girl. Oh, girl.
Now, Symbol, or whatever your name is on the internet, now's the part of the song where the guy breaks it on down and says all the weird shit he's gonna do to you. And I'm gonna do all kinds of weird shit to you. I'm gonna suck on your toes, the dicks of the feet. I'm even gonna suck on your pinky toe. You know the one that like you don't really have a toenail there, but you still paint the skin anyway? Like it's a mirage in the desert, like you're Wile E. Coyote trying to trick the roadrunner into running into a canyon wall. And you know, like, I'll even suck like your ring toe. The one that's like twice as long as any other toe in your foot for some reason. And when you wear flip-flops, it hangs over the front edge and makes a click-clack noise when you walk across linoleum, like you're a velociraptor trying to hunt down children in a kitchen. You clever girl. And I know I can see anytime I want by just saying your name 3 times into a bathroom mirror at midnight. And all I long to do is hear you say those 3 simple words. Hey, you guys! And even though you look like something that the Shredder made to kill the Ninja Turtles, I'll still lick your cowabung hole.
We belong together, do the math.
Long division.
We'll rub your flipper against my shield.
Roll that puss to me. Lift your colostomy. I'll finger the hole where you
Pee. Sit on my face, the closest parking space. Before I eat a meal, I say grace. Girl, you know you're my special girl.
You can't eat solid food, so I'll come down your feeding tube. Drip, drip, random girl on the internet. It's the ejaculate so thick it eats like a meal. I call it New England man chowder. And even though you may smell like the back alley of a Red Lobster on a hot July afternoon, you'll always be my special girl.
You're my special girl. Oh, girl.
All right.
There you go.
Special girl. Again,
Special girl.
to no applause.
Anyway, who here remembers their first love, though? You remember your first love, Thomas?
I do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, her name was Reva Trowbridge.
That's not real.
It's 100% real.
What was it like dating in Dungeons and Dragons?
That was great. Yeah, she would ask me riddles before we had sex. Yeah, she would like, if you want to see my V, you must answer riddles 3.
What was your childhood pet's name?
What was the name of the street you grew up on?
And who was your high school's mascot? Anyway, that's the story of how Tommy couldn't own a house till he was 40.
Mm-hmm. She stole my heart and my identity.
R.I.P.
Then I found out she was a Nigerian prince.
And ever since that night, we went to that party and Gypsy sucked all those dicks. She's changed her name to Gypsy.
God damn it, she's sucking everybody's social security numbers.
What if that was her power? She sucks your identity out there so she could just recreate you. That's good.
Well, her mouth didn't taste like identities. Tastes like DNA, though.
DNA? That's good.
What was that? Double helix?
Yeah. No. Dick and ass. All right. Yeah, DNA. Anyway,
What's
this
worse,
is
if she was sucking dicks all night, rando guys, or just eating asses?
I'd go ass eating. I mean, ass eating, that's poo-poo.
Yeah.
You know? I've
Good.
asked
Good, I made out.
with her ass.
Yeah. I only sucked all those guys' dicks by proxy.
Yeah.
I didn't eat their asses. It's the other way around.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, this is a song about my first love, and well, I hope you guys enjoy it here. I met her at a local yard sale. I saw the wind blowing through her hair. I asked her name, but she said nothing back. It almost gave me a heart attack. Her name tag said Judy. She wasn't snotty or snooty. Yeah, I gave that man $10 and I took Judy home. And now I got this plastic fuck doll. Give it all my love, y'all. Sees me naked almost every day. She never shies and looks away. She's always room temp and ready. Got a call from Betty. Sorry, hun. Me and this fuck doll are going steady. Meow, 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 meow. Her latex skin was oh so fair. She wore her old face everywhere. Always gave me an astonished stare when I pulled down my underwear. Oh, my Judy, she's my inflatable cutie. Gave her a ring and she said yeah. Meow, 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 meow. Actually, that part of the song is a lie. I just kind of gave her the ring and she made this face like. So I took it as a yes. But I met her family after that, Thomas, you know. You just don't ask for somebody's hand in marriage and off to Vegas.
No, that's rude.
I met her family, and her mom was an inflatable gorilla. She was a car-selling thriller. Her dad was a wavy R&M guy. Her little brother was a slip and slide. And around them they were crazy. Said we're having a baby. And 9 months later, we had a volleyball. We had a volleyball. We had a volleyball. We had a volleyball. Volleyball. We had a volleyball. Me and this plastic fuck doll. We had a volleyball.
Oh God, I think I shit my pants. Oh God.
It's just blood.
Why the fuck do we all know so long? Why do we do this every time? Shit. Where the fuck? Why does it smell like shit up here?
Oh, it's Symbol.
Symbol. You dubious wench. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. We've been Bussi.
Thanks for listening, Baltimore. You can find us at www.sanitylounge.com or on Instagram at sanity.lounge.
Keep listening and subscribe.
Stay sane, Baltimore.